Okay, we are live.
Welcome back to our GURPS Hammer campaign. I am Rigel, your super sleepy GM for tonight's session. This campaign will be utilizing the GURPS rule set, but is set in the Empire of Man setting found in the Warhammer Fantasy role-playing setting. Also, Warhammer Fantasy Battles and Total War and all that jazz. In addition to our live streams on Twitch, this and all future sessions will also be available on YouTube and as audio-only podcasts. So try to remember what you are, or try to actually say out loud what you rolled. Links will be found in the descriptions. FX Engineer, I need a roll for your secret into the skull. And do you have any character business for Christoph?
Hello. No character business. I'm trying to save up my points if he lives that long. I will roll here shortly.
All right. Nosh, do you have any character business for Enfys?
I do not.
Cool. I currently do not need a roll for your enemy, but I will let you know when I do. Gigerman, do you have any character business for Jorg?
Negative on your business.
All right. Mel, do you have any character business for Copper Tongue?
Nope. Do you need a klutz roll?
Let's see. That is once per day. I think not yet because you rolled that one, the previous one. So that day hasn't officially ended yet.
Okay, good deal.
And Ronki has already rolled his secret into the skull. Does he have any? Do you have any character business for Soren?
Possibly. How many sessions do you expect the rest of this run to be? Approximate. Doesn't have to be exact.
I don't know.
At least another?
Yes.
5?
Maybe more. Depends on you guys.
Okay.
Because I screwed up and front-loaded some stuff. I mean, I'm just now getting into the adventure proper.
Okay. In that case, I will save my points for now. So, no character business.
All right, cool. So last week, since Christoph was not here, I'm not sure how caught up he is, but it was the last stage of the trip from Ubersreich to Bögenhafen, and you encountered a mutant in the woods and then got into a fight with a bunch of dudes, including one who very nearly killed Copper Tongue, except that size mod thing came back and saved her butt once more. But he was casting evil spells, and after him and all the others are dead, you discovered that this fellow looked an awful lot like Soren. And inside his gear, his clothes, whatever, was a letter that basically declared that the dead guy is the last heir of a baronet, and to claim this mighty wealth of, like, what was it, 20,000? Yeah, 20,000 gold crowns. And the title of baronet, had to present the letter and another thing that I didn't pull up, but had to present that at a lawyer's in Bögenhafen. And Soren was enthusiastic about the money. As I recall, Copper Tongue was less enthusiastic about the whole thing.
Soren was contemplating the possibility that he has a long-lost brother, or had. Since Soren was
horribly disfigured him.
Yeah, well, gotta do what you gotta do.
And I guess you gotta horribly disfigure your potential brother.
He didn't need that face anymore. And
as we ended the previous session, you actually did, in fact, arrive at Bögenhafen.
So sorry, can I ask, just to understand?
Go ahead.
So this guy, Castor, he died or you killed him?
Well, in fairness, he attacked them first.
But, okay. And then you found that letter on his person. So it seemed like that letter was addressed to him. So he appears to be an inheritor of lots of money.
That is correct.
Is he related to Soren? Do you know?
Søren's an orphan. An orphan of the same place? I think Bögenhafen is where Søren grew up.
Yes.
I'm trying to read the print on the letters.
Yeah, it is. It is tough. Where is my thing? I can hold on. Thinking
He
that
didn't
through, I
have.
should have.
He has to pick up that money somewhere. I'm
Yeah,
assuming
in
that's what we're on the
Bögenhafen.
way to do.
Well, you, if you recall, you guys were taking escorting the two drivers, Gunnar and Holtz, with a wagon load of stuffs to Bögenhafen. So everybody's like, "Oh, that's convenient. We want to go there and claim a whole bunch of money," as
Well,
you do,
technically, it'd be Soren's money, but
until
yeah.
he, somebody shanks him in the back and steals it.
Is
Okay.
Søren greedy? No,
I
he's not
know
greedy, but
Copper Tongue has it, but that's a racial thing, or a dwarf thing. I thought somebody else had it, but I don't actually. The last time I looked, I didn't actually see anybody else having it.
yeah, Søren doesn't have greedy, but yeah, this is 20,000 crowns. He's happy to share it as long as everyone else backs up the claim.
If I
Do
wasn't
barons-
your best friend before, I'm your best friend now.
Mhm.
So this is inheriting a baronet. Is that an actual title, or are we just talking about the land?
Well, whatever. You're not sure. It depends on. You'd have to talk to the people. I am actually holding on doing a
I'm looking at the
the
letter. It says you get the
translation.
deeds. You get the deeds to a manor. You'll have the title, responsibilities associated with owning that.
Okay, it did actually say title in there that you would get it.
We shall be pleased to place into your hands the title deeds.
Actual translation,
Oh, here you go.
which is granted much easier to read, but it isn't as cool looking.
So you need a signed and twofold witness affidavit. I'm happy to sign.
Oh, we've already
He
got
actually
that.
had that. I just didn't pull it up. That was there. It is.
You should have linked both of those onto that inheritance doc.
That's not a terrible idea. Wow, you had a good idea. Congratulations.
Guild Master, Guild of Merchants, Priestess, Temple of Stigmar. Wow, this guy knew some fancy people.
Right, I put the handout there. Did it actually immediately show, or do I need to share it again?
Well,
Now
they
they're
show.
there.
Cool.
Okay, so quick question. The
Yep.
player does not know the laws in this universe. So Queen has honesty, which means that she's okay with lying as long as it's not breaking a law. So would this whole scheme be breaking a law?
Oh yeah.
He would be
Probably.
impersonating someone who is about to inherit a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's probably illegal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Queen's not going to go for this. Sorry.
She's gonna totally turn you in.
Uh-huh.
Well,
The
but Queen could also make the case that she has conflicting disads.
I would say if she's greedy, she might be willing to be dishonest on this one instance for a large sum of
I
gold.
figured they might at least neutralize each other.
She would be trying to find a way to get the wealth and also be honest at the same time.
That is something we've run into before, and I don't think we ever actually came up with a workable solution, that being conflicting disads.
Yeah, I can always make a roll for them, and we can go off the dice and see which one wins out.
Or you could take the point value, which one has the greatest sway over you.
Yeah, they're both the same.
No, I was going to say she doesn't have to do anything yet, so
Yeah, she'll be stewing on this though. She will definitely not look happy as Soren
Actually,
is.
they're not. Looks like greed is 15 and honesty is 10.
Oh, you mean point value, or I was thinking roll level.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, 12 or less. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Yeah, the same thing.
Well, honesty, I don't think it has a self-control roll.
This one on the
Yes,
sheet
it
does.
Honesty's always had a self-control role.
Okay. I thought it was one of those things like Code of Honor.
truthfulness is the one that doesn't.
Yeah, it's make a self-control roll when faced with the need to break unreasonable laws.
But then
So if you
afterwards, you'll still turn yourself in or something like that.
Well, if you fail, you have to obey the law, whatever the consequence is. If
Well, there you go.
you resist your
So-
urges and break the law, you have to make another one after that. And then if you fail that, you have to turn yourself in.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
you're not
you
breaking
said
any laws.
you said unreasonable. Of course, 20,000 gold is not unreasonable.
And you're not breaking any laws. It's CERN that's going to swing if this doesn't work.
This is Warhammer fantasy. If it doesn't work, you're all gonna swing.
Yeah, it's like guilty by proxy.
Yep.
So anyway, I won't make any rules yet, but yeah, you may want to.
If she could just like wash her hands of it once you get into Bögenhafen and go, so nope, you go do what you got to do. I'm gonna go over here and not get involved.
Yep.
And
CERN
I'm
turns.
totally not going to be talking to a town watch guy.
CERN
Oh,
turns
yeah,
to the rest of the group and does the whole slit her throat gesture. No, he doesn't do that.
Not where
Well,
she
Queen-
can see.
Yeah, Queen has things that she could go busy herself with in a big city. So
Well, technically it's just a town, but it is a big town.
okay.
How long is it going to take us to get there?
All right, to get where? Bögenhafen?
Yeah.
You
1
arrived at Bögenhafen last night. That's what.
Oh, that's right.
Or not last night, but just now. And the sun is clearly going down. It's fairly late in the day, so honestly, you'll probably end up needing to do that tomorrow because, well, they're lawyers. They're not going to be burning the midnight oil.
Is there any official, records like births, deaths, registered orphans?
Ooh, that's a good question. Possibly. You may be able to find that sort of if there is that sort of thing, it would probably be at the Temple of Verena, who is basically like it's like a library.
I don't recall when CERN was orphaned. Was he like dropped off at the steps of an orphanage?
I don't know. Was he? It's that stuff is kind of left fairly open. I'll let the players decide.
How young was he?
I'm just reading his
Yeah,
biography.
I think it just says he was an orphan, so it's entirely up to the player.
So he would have been a kid. How about we let the dice decide?
1d12.
It's GURPS. You'd want to use D6s.
Yeah, but if you use D6s, that will only give you from ages 1 to 6.
2 to 6, 2 to 12.
Yeah, but then you've got a bell curve. Let's do it like this. I'll roll a D10.
Yeah, don't be a dicist.
So he was 10. So I guess he would have some knowledge of his parents. Okay, so CERN has knowledge of his parents, and I'm guessing to keep it in line with the story, his parents have nothing to do with this estate.
Okay.
Assuming that's what the story implies.
So, so you have arrived
Of course he knows.
at the gates of Bögenhafen. It's fairly late in the day. The sun's already going down, but the lead driver, Gunnar, he's pretty damned eager to get rid of all this junk in there. So he and Holtz have a quick argument while they are waiting to be allowed into the city. You will notice there's a pretty sizable bit of traffic coming in here. Most of it's on foot, but there are people on horseback. There's coaches. There are other wagons. But then they are setting up for the Schaffenfest next week, which is like one of the biggest festivals in the whole of the Reichland. But their argument is about whether they go directly to the inn and then try to offload the stuff tomorrow, or go straight to the bloody Steinhagers first. And Gunnar is like, yeah, we need to get rid of get the stuff offloaded, and they'll be open. They're always bloody open, and besides, it's on the way. Those of you who are from Bögenhafen, which I believe is Jorg and Soren, will know, yes, it's definitely closer as you are coming in through this gate to just go to the Steinhagers. At the gate, the board watch personnel, they go over the wagons, lift up, open up some of the stuff. They eye the PCs, they check, just doing their usual stuff. One of them does sort of like give Soren a second look, like, do I know this guy? Which he seems to have happened to him before, relatively recently. But then the leader of these guys, they gesture, and a young man who's he's yawning. He's clearly doesn't want to be here either. But his clothes are better than average. Definitely, he's not wearing the standard the standard watch gear, which I totally spun up a thing for using what is that? Damn it, Hero Forge. I think it's
Yeah.
Hero Forge. Yeah.
Did you
The
add the crest?
I did. I couldn't. You couldn't get the crest. They have some crests, but they're kind of garbage. So I cheated and added it myself after I was done. So the young man comes up there. He's got like a checklist that he's checking over, and he's asking Gunnar and Holt some questions, like are you natives of the town, or are you members of the Merchants Guild? What are you carrying? Where's this going, etc., etc. And he finally comes to an end. It's like, okay, that's going to come to 4 crowns apiece, for 1 crown per pack animal, 2 crowns per cart or wagon bearing merchandise.
Holy shit.
Gunnar's like grimacing. He's like, whoa, everything's gone up a bit. And bureaucrat, he sort of shrugs. He's like, gestures in the direction of where the Schaffenfest is being set up. And he's like, yep, well, there's that. And you're lucky. Town council's been making some noises about taxing the bodyguards as well. But and with that, he just sort of nods in, everybody else's direction. It's like, but the 4 families, they said, nope, rejected that right out of hand. Gunnar, grudgingly hands over the money. And the guy puts it into a metal box, which Copper Tongue will immediately recognize as it's just like a generic dwarfish money changer, which is designed so breaking into that without the proper key is really, really hard, which Soren may or may not know from experience. The bureaucrat then gives them a receipt that he's like sort of stamped, and he's like, don't lose that. And then you are allowed to enter into the town. This is the Bögenhafen map. I have gone ahead and shared it because it occurred to me that Jorg and Soren are from here, so they're going to know what all of these places or where everything is at and such like that. So you are coming in from down here, so too, and the Steinhager offices is the S.
How convenient.
Yep. But inside the gate, they almost resume their argument. But Gunnar's like, let's just get this crap taken care of. And Holtz is like, yeah, okay. And clearly Holtz was just wanting to go get some drinks. When you get there, the office is still open, even though it's everything else in this particular area seems to be like closing down for the evening. And as soon as you see that it's still open, Holtz is like, of course it is. And Gunnar is going to. He's like, all right, stay here, keep an eye on the stuff. Holtz, we need to go in and report this. And so they enter. And while you are outside waiting, Christoph, you will hear someone call out your name. And it's a little bit of a surprise.
Who is it? I turn around.
And an older man, which you recognize as Josef. He's like a former employer. He's like a boat captain. He was like sort of an unofficial uncle of your family. back before the dark days and the unfortunate times. He comes over there. He's like, "Well, what? It's wonderful to see you. What are you doing here?"
Okay, so I had a good relationship with him.
Yeah, he was, pretty unofficial uncle. He was probably the guy who, introduced you to beer.
Okay. Well, oh my God, surprised to see you, Uncle.
Well, yeah, just delivering
Greetings.
some cargoes here to these very fine, upstanding gentlemen inside.
And who may that be?
Oh, the Steinhuggers.
Oh, are they the owners of the establishment?
Yeah, one of the they're one of the four big merchant families here.
Yeah, they're who we're delivering to.
Oh, okay. No. Well, I guess know that I like to be alone, but I don't mind sharing a drink with the family if I can invite you to a drink. Ale.
No, absolutely. I've already got a place down by the docks, Boatman Inn. Maybe maybe we can get together, catch up, share a couple pints.
Okay, that sounds good. I don't know how long we have business here. I don't know how long we'll be, but I will look you up before we leave.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be here. I've got a dispute with their pay. He's like clearly wanting to say some stuff, to snap about these jackasses possibly, but definitely watching what he says.
Well, surely you want to stay for Chuffenfest.
Well, maybe.
They've only got all the beers, all of them.
Yes, that would be. I know. I mean, I brought some of it here, and then he's like,
Oh, really?
up. And they're like, hey, yeah, and his like, his name is called, and he's like, oh, well, remember, Boatman's Inn. If I don't catch you before I get out of this.
I'm a licensed beer inspector, by the way. I could give that a quick review. I've got my license in my other pants somewhere.
Feel free to bring your friends. They're funny. And then he goes in, and it's a bit. It's probably a solid 30-45 minutes before Gunnar and Holtz emerge, and neither of them look particularly happy. They're like, okay, we got to take these over to some warehouses on the docks, and that takes you that will lead over into the docks. So it takes about 10 minutes or so to get to the warehouse simply due to the traffic. Even though it is late at night, there's plenty of taverns and all that jazz that are in the area. Plus you've got people coming in from all over getting prepared. And there is already a night watchman on duty at the warehouse, and he's like, immediately sort of holds up the hands, like, whoa, hold on, who are you? What are you doing here? Gunnar explains. He's like, all right, well, do you know when the red cloaks are going to show up? And like, nope, gotta wait. And then it's another 15 minutes or so before a group, but four. They're pretty large guys, but they are wearing, oddly enough, really bright red cloaks. The two Bögenhafen natives, Jorg and Soren, will recognize that this identifies them as members of the Teamsters Guild. The watchman sort of greets them, jokes he hasn't seen any red or orange hats around, which causes them to sneer. Once again, Jorg and Soren are going to be at least familiar, aware that the Teamsters and the Stevedores Guild are constantly at odds. And the stevedores, they're the dock workers. They basically, handle. They're basically like a bunch of small gangs, and they like wear different colored straw hats for per gang, and each one of them like specializes in like porting a different kind of stock.
He who controls the docks controls the universe.
Well, the Teamsters control. Basically, the reason the two are at odds is because both of them want to be in control of offloading cargoes, whether it's from the docks or from wagons. but currently the stevedores are the only ones that offload stuff from boats, and the teamsters are the only ones that offload stuff from wagons.
That would seem a bit more efficient if they were both the same organization, wouldn't it?
Well, you know how it goes. Those wacky guilds. So the teamsters, they just sort of lounge around, waiting, smoking, and everybody's like, Gunnar will explain to you guys that he's got to wait for the clerk to finally show up, because the clerk has to sign off on all this garbage. And he's like, yeah, this is why he wanted to get it done now, because he has literally come here before and spent all day waiting at the warehouse, and based off of some Bögenhafen bylaws, he can't offload anything. And oh, by the way, none of you guys are going to be helping the Teamsters. They will get visibly angry. Also, there are laws against that too. You're not members of the guild, so. But another 15, maybe 20 minutes or so, the a clerk finally shows up in a small carriage. He gets out and brushes some dust off of himself and comes up there, and he's got an actual manifest, and he starts going off of the or checking against everything, and I don't remember if I stated what was in the wagons, other than they had goods.
I don't think you
But
did.
yeah, it's mostly metal stuff, because the way the I gotta find it again really quick. Yeah, there it is. Steinhager, they are principally the distribution of goods from. They concentrate mainly on the distribution of goods from Altdorf, Nuln, and Marienburg, which are mostly to the north, although Nuln is to the southeast. But those are the actual cities. But they concentrate on goods from there to the communities along the edges of the Gray Mountains, which the south. You guys are rumbling around in there. In exchange for furs, metals, and other produce. So it is basically like furs and ingots of metal and such like that. So it he's checking off the clerk, checking off the stuff and consulting the manifest, while the Teamster guys are like lifting this box and carrying it over there and into the warehouse and such like that. And it's really, really boring for you, because it's like you gotta just basically sit there and do nothing while these dudes are doing all the work. Eventually, the stuff is offloaded. The clerk is a little irritated, maybe sad, dismayed, whatever, that nothing seems to have fallen off the wagon. And granted, it's these are big boxes of metal. Well, what are you going to do? And by the time it is done, the sun is long since gone down, and he hands each of the teamsters an iron chit that is about the size of a coin, but it's like square. It has the Steinhager logo mostly stamped on it, and I meant to share that. So that's the 4 major merchant houses. So it's the barrel with the S. They accept and happily, and then they depart. And he makes some notes on the manifest, and then he has Gunnar compare what he wrote on his manifest, and then he signs it. And he informs Gunnar that he is to present his manifest to the merchant house tomorrow for payment in full. And then the guy departs, leaving behind a couple of empty wagons. And Gunnar is like, I sometimes hate this town. Well, all right. How much? I think I owe you, gentlemen and dwarf, some final monies. I believe it was 9 shillings.
I believe that is correct.
And he will pull the 9 shillings out, for each of you out of the he's got like a lockbox thing that has gotten really, really light, and there's not a lot left in there.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, it's like, well, I definitely appreciate your assistance. I have no idea when we're heading back. Steinhager was saying that they want to possibly send some more cargo down to Obersreich, but Schaffenfest is going to start in a week, so it looks like me and Holtz may end up being forced to stay here for until that's done.
Well, if you're still here, I will personally invite you and escort you into Schaffenfest and get you properly plastered.
So noted. So everybody will increase their individual wealth by 9 shillings, and he will remind you. It's like, yeah, if you don't already have rooms somewhere, you'll probably want to get them quickly because all these people are coming into town, and we're going to be staying. Hans, Holtz and I over at the Journey's End, presuming we can actually get rooms. But yeah, he will shake your hands, and Holtz will as well, and wish you guys good luck. Catch you later, unless you wish to go along to the inns with him.
I see no reason why we shouldn't. We do need to find places to stay, right?
Yep. At least for Christoph, the Boatman's Inn is probably going to be on this where closer to where you're at. You guys are probably like here, down in this area with the warehouses, and there are inns scattered all along that inns and mostly taverns scattered along all there down there for the people who get off the boats and decide, you know what, I do not want to sleep on my boat tonight. But the Boatman's Inn is probably somewhere down on this side, roughly where you're at. But based off of Jorg and Soren's knowledge of the town, the Journey's End is over here, number 22. Damn it! Did I forget to take that? I did. That's better. I don't know if that's going to change your decision or not.
What's the approximate scale of this place?
It's a really big town. Let me see. It is it's obviously a trade town. I'm trying to remember how many people there are. I know there's a lot of people, but I don't remember exactly how much is a lot. I am trying to look and find that out really quickly. Bögenhafen has a population of about 10,000. So it's a very, very bustling town.
Actually, I think that counts as a city by medieval standards.
What about Renaissance standards?
Well, I think London in the Tudor period was only about 100K.
Well, that's, a bit more than 10K.
Yeah, but they're not going to be that many cities that big.
Nope.
Yeah.
Is the whole city contained within the walls, or is there stuff outside the walls?
Oh yeah, there's going to be so the Schaffenfest itself is going to be outside the walls. It's being set up.
There's always this area over
the
here. Walls.
Yeah, that's true. But so there is some stuff outside the walls as well. But this is a common characteristic about Empire, the Empire of Man. They have to have walls. Wiki, what about what? Oh, well, I'm just going off the adventure.
Yeah, I don't know what the relationship between the wiki information and the adventure is.
It's between 5 and 10K. That's how many they have. And as noted with the Schaffenfest right around the corner, there's going to be even more people in town, whether they're going to be squatting out there on the future festival grounds, or lounging on their boats, or squatting outside town. Actually, they probably, one of the things that the watch does is discourage people from just deciding to camp in the middle of the road.
Well, yeah.
Then they're going to go over there and do some can't be police because they're not town watch brutality.
Since
But yeah.
since Søren is from this place, has he
Mhm.
got any sort of knowledge of, is it Liberung, that family?
No, not a family that you've heard of before. And you will also note that on the affidavit, all of the things that were signed by someone in Nuln, which is a bit of ways from here. Where's the map? That's the wrong map. There's the map. Right. So you are currently here in Bögenhafen, and Nuln is a bit over here, quite a bit of ways. Quite a bit a ways. That's a terrible sentence.
By any chance, do they do oil?
Nuln, they are principally gunpowder guys, I think. Guns and such like that.
There's a paint, Citadel paint called Nuln Oil. That's the color of the wash.
Right. Yeah.
Never
Well,
heard of it.
that's Citadel paints. You mean for miniatures?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be from Nuln, because you're probably going to find like an Altdorf color and possibly a Middenheim color. Right. So, what is the plan? Are you heading over to back across town to Journey's End? Are you staying here on the docks? Maybe link up with Christoph's new friend, or not new friend, but your new friend and Christoph's old one.
What were the drivers doing? Did they have already arranged?
They are heading back to Journey's End, and they're going. They that's normally where they stay when they are coming through here. So they're hoping there's going to be open rooms. They're presuming there's going to be open rooms because it's like a really big inn.
Well, I suppose my temptation here is to just follow Christoph without even asking him if he wants us to go along.
That's true. We did decide FX, or I declared multiple times that the reason you were so quiet, even though it was technically you were absent, I said nope, that's not why. It's because your loner just like kept critically failing, and you're like, I don't want to talk to nobody. Leave me alone.
Yeah, he wants to talk to his uncle. I mean, he likes his uncle. He just doesn't like to talk to people in general, and it's sort of an obligation, but he's willing to do it. He's going to meet his obligation and have a drink with his uncle. Really
Okay,
happy to let Georg do the talking.
so actually, something that Soren, or not Soren, but Ronki previously asked. That's not what I thought he was going to ask about the. Damn it, my brain is freezing up. What's up with that? Lieberung. That's not what I thought he was going to be asking. But something I wanted to know is there is very probably in a town of this size, between 5 and 10,000, there is very probably some sort of shall we call them I don't want to call them thieves guild, because that would just imply something. What shall we call them? You know what I mean. The question I have is, what was Soren's relationship to a theoretical thieves guild that the town watch and the town council insist does not exist at all?
Let me quickly check his bio. Okay, so there's no mention of a thieves guild there. So
No, because remember with the bios are probably really really loose because they were based off of pre-gens. So
there's nothing in his traits that would suggest that he's affiliated.
what
I
kind of
think
traits were you looking for? I mean, are you thinking like duty or something like that?
Quirks and stuff like that. He's probably going to be unaffiliated.
Okay,
Yeah, he'll be unaffiliated.
cool. Let's see. Oh, okay. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Giger. Okay. And also similarly, at least with Jorg, he's going to be aware that some of the people that he went, was it the Grey Company, I think you were calling them, their any
Right.
family types would probably be in town or outside of town like yours. And I think you also have some actual family that might be in town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not going to deal with that till the morning, though. I don't want to be wandering around the hinterlands in the middle of the night.
Could be fun.
Undoubtedly.
Yep. All right. Well, what about Enfys? Does he have any plans or desires for the evening?
I think it's simply going to be tavern time with drinking of wine and finding interesting people to chat with.
Okay. And Copper Tongue?
She's going to be the same. She'll have a list of things to do on the next day, though.
Good. Okay. So somehow you guys all end up arriving at the Boatman's Inn. It's pretty easy to find. You just ask a single person here on the docks, and they'll point you in the appropriate direction. There's like as you're cruising along there, there's like all sorts of vessels that are tied up to the riverfront. You've got the really big barges, you've got the smaller ones, you've got houseboats, and the Boatman Inn is just one of many that are establishments that are there. There are a lot of river folk type that are inside the inn, and frankly outside the inn as well. Mostly they are boatmen, but there are others present. You will see Yosef is already present. He's got several bottles of wine that are on his table. And what was that? Somebody tried to set AFK and it wigged out on me again. Error, unknown special message type received. Parentheses, set AFK. So weird. Yeah, he will, as soon as he sees Christoph, he's like, oh, hey, come on over. And he seems to be in something of a very jovial mood. But then, since those bottles of wine are mostly empty, got a pretty good idea why. Like, I guess you guys you're done. Yeah, come on, sit. And he sort of waves like, yeah, let's have some more wine over here.
That's my uncle, right? Sorry.
Yes.
I glance over at Georg, and I'm like, all right, I head over that way. My uncle's way too cheery for my taste.
Yeah, maybe. He's fine. He might be slightly inebriated.
So I
He's
sit down.
definitely interested. And it's like, yeah. So, how'd you get out here? What's going on? Quite a ways away from last I heard you. You were down there in Ubersreich.
We took a couple of jobs here and there, and most recently we were helping to escort a couple of I don't know, were they caravan guards or?
Yeah, that's basically what you would have been, caravan guards.
Yeah, as always, looking for some money, to make some money.
I had wish you had been further north. I could have hired you onto the boat. You do still remember how to sail, right?
I do. I didn't quite like the feeling of not being able to get away, being stuck.
Actually, no, you don't. You got rid of sailing.
I did get rid of sailing, but I remember it wasn't all fun experience for me. So what news, Uncle?
Oh, he will absolutely go into long diatribes about, this and that and what's going on, what he's been up to. He's mostly been sailing, up and down the Reich. Got a cargo from Altdorf to bring it down here to Bögenhafen, some wine. Then, made a pretty decent penny, even if you had to deal with those jackasses. Even wildly intoxicated, he knows better than to badmouth any of the merchant houses pretty loud. He's probably gonna squint at Jorg, and it's like, you look familiar for some reason. Do I know you, Jorg?
I don't know if you've met, but this is my companion, Jorg.
Traveling with a dwarf as well. Hello, Mistress Dwarf. I am Yosef.
Queen will just kind of grunt and say, Coppertone. Raises a glass or whatever she got for drink.
And he will, glance to Soren and Infus. And it's like, clearly waiting to be introduced to them before.
I didn't realize that we were all here. I thought it was just me and
Yep.
Jorg.
Yep. Everybody just sort of meandered along and said, yeah, we're going to end up in the same place.
Christoph thought
So
he
I-
was going by himself.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it'll be fine. And then he turns around and goes, ah.
Well, I introduced everybody in the group, and like if I had to be with anybody, these guys, they're not too bad.
That's high praise.
High praise, yes. Might as well be with them.
Yep. Well, yeah. So, how long are you in Bögenhafen? And this is mostly towards everybody, even if he's generally more familiar with Christoph.
We don't actually have any plans at the moment.
Ah,
Probably going to be looking for work after the Schaffenfest.
yeah. Well, may have to try to, if you're still interested, may look at to hire you on. I could always use more hands on my boat.
Don't know anything about boats, but I got hands.
It's relatively simple as long as you don't drown.
Yeah, I don't swim really.
That's totally fine.
I'm cool with staying on the boat.
Neither does Søren.
Whew. Jorg said, yep, it's time for me to go glug glug.
Time for me to wash the road off.
I do want to ask a question, just kind of offhand. So, just curious, Uncle, do you know how familiar are you with this Bögenhafen city?
Bögenhafen, I've come here more than a few times. Why?
Do you know of? I'm trying to read this. Civil lawyers, commissioners, Ross, Garten Weg. Do you know of?
Gartenweg?
Let's see. I believe both of Soren and that's actually a location. It's like an address. So I believe Soren and Jorg could make like the area knowledge check thing.
We could.
IQ.
Be IQ
that.
in that case.
Defaults to IQ if you live there.
Oh, the signature at the bottom of the letter, Dietenberg, or something like that.
Sorry, I have to pull it
I
back
just
up
want to
and see.
casually ask. Like, I don't want to mention anything about the letter or anything. I just have you heard of this fellow, or what can you tell us?
That'd be Dietrich Barl, Lock, Stock, and Barl. That's the GM saying that. He will not recognize the name, but then he hasn't really interacted that much with the stuff. He's usually just, quite frequently, he when he's come through here, he hasn't even ventured out of the wharf side, riverside. He can show up, offload some cargo, negotiate with some dude who will bring more cargo, offload, and then he can leave. Soren looks at that or thinks about it, and let's see if this is gonna work. Did that update the Bögenhafen map with for you guys with a new option there, an L?
Well, let's see.
No.
Nope.
I don't think so.
You may have to refresh it.
Moved for me. The map moved.
That's interesting.
I see the numbers in blue.
Okay, I'm gonna unpublic it and then
I was going to say.
reshare it.
No?
Do you have it? Because you've got layers that are visible to players, visible to GM, and all that sort of stuff.
There's no layers on it.
What did you do?
That is, I exported a new version of the image, and then I went to assets
Okay.
and reloaded assets. And on the map,
Can we do that?
my map, on my map, I saw the green circle with the red L appear where I'm pointing.
I see a
Mm.
green S.
Yeah, that is really
Oh.
interesting. I wonder. Well, at any rate, where that thing is pointing is where Soren identifies that address.
So it's between 25 and 23.
Yep,
Soren recognizes the address. What you're saying.
he does. Yes,
Soren gets around. Right.
he just didn't roll like crap like Daniel. I mean, he rolled really well. He rolled a 5. Y'all need to remember that.
He may have had dealings.
No, he's not interacted with them before. He's just like, I think that address is over in that area. Right. So, with regards to emphasis, I want to talk to people who are interesting. Yosef has a butt ton of stories, and he is very happy to tell all of the stories because he's been up and down all over the rivers for like nigh on 30 years now, and he's convinced he's seen it all and done it all, and he has several T-shirts.
Queen is completely enraptured as soon as he starts telling stories.
All right, she likes that those stories. I completely forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. The more
Did
ridiculous,
I
the better.
give him? All right, so he is chummy. Did I give him? I did not give him storytelling. I should have given him what would that be? That would be like public speaking, maybe.
You could do it that way, public speaking or performance,
Maybe
but
just
that's
use-
I
assuming.
think there is actually a storytelling. It's like public speaking storytelling.
That's correct. Default
Is there?
to public speaking actually can default from storytelling as a optional specialty.
Okay.
No, I want to see what that would be.
Which makes me realize I haven't even cracked open the books yet.
Ditto. I just had to open it. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, right. That's right. They added additional things for public speaking in later books because I was looking at the basic, and it's just public speaking covers them all.
Well, it says that
Includes
those
skill with debate, oratory, and rhetoric, as well as ability with less formal activities such as punning and storytelling.
not all speakers possess talent in all these areas. You may take an optional specialty.
Right. Nah, I'm just going to do carousing instead. Right. So he got a success by 3. So he is very, very good at his possible loads of BS, possible actual cool stories.
That was a good roll.
Yeah, by 8. Oh, no, by 5. So he rolled an 8.
Is being
So-
drunk raise or lower that?
Well, that depends on whether you are like, actually, I don't think he has.
It
He
would
does
be
not
lower.
have- He does not. He's not drunk. He
By
does
the rule,
not
it would
have-
lower it, but
He does not have alcoholic, even though he drinks a lot. But he does have alcohol tolerance, so he's fine. Yep. All right. Yes. So, if you are planning on overnighting here at the Boatman Inn, it is just going to be treated like, generic coaching inn. So you could get pay for the common room and just like sleep out in the big room with everybody else, or get your own room.
Oh, I'm going to get my own room.
Totally understandable.
Yep,
On
Queen
the
will get
table's
her own
fine.
room.
Likewise.
How
Yeah,
many
so-
pennies in a shilling?
12.
Right. Yeah. 12 pennies in a shilling, 20 shillings in a crown.
Yeah, I could put that in the notes under the currency there.
Thought I did.
I
Wait, are you
mean,
talking to me?
individually, us.
Okay. If I will double check if nobody has it like that on there, or not if nobody, but I will make sure that's there afterwards if you guys don't beat me to it.
It is in the currencies option.
Yeah, I know
Can't
it's
actually
there,
share
but
that.
it would be a good place to put it in those notes.
Okay, so yeah, so if you spend however much money you wish on food and or entertainment, the night will be full of drinking and carousing and possibly partying and quite possibly some vomiting somewhere. Upon the morrow, um, regardless of where where did Soren end up sleeping? Did he get his own little room?
Private room, yep.
Yep. So you are woken by the sound of something tapping on your window.
It's
Something rapping on my chamber door.
Nope, tapping on your window.
Søren will grab a weapon and go to the window.
There
He'll
is an
go.
owl outside that has a pouch around its neck. Like, oh right, looks like your monthly debt is due.
Søren will just go, fuck.
Well, that wizard is like, hey, I'm getting my money, damn it. I believe it is 7 shillings and 6 pennies.
Let me adjust my stuff.
You're like, grumble, grumble, grumble. You had to wake me up for this.
Alright. Reluctantly, Søren will open the window. He'll count out the amount he owes and pay it. So how much was it? 7 shillings and
6 pennies. Yeah, isn't that, let me double check. I think we had that. Yes, it's actually on your, debt 9. Ooh. So that hurt a little bit. Like, grumble, grumble. But
You know, you should carry around some couple of lead weights, so when it flies over there, you can give him the money and give him some extra weight to carry too, slow him down.
Yes, because that's what you want to do is you want to piss off the archmage you already owe money to.
I think it's just time for some owl fricassee.
Well, just so everybody is aware, Soren has learned in the past that if he does not pay it, he ends up with severe unluckiness.
That's about right.
Okay, so the following morning. Oh, right. I did have one other minor thing that you would have learned from Joseph is that he is going to be stuck in Bögenhafen for at least probably till the Schadenfest, maybe after it, because he was trying to get some negotiations, take something back toward Altdorf, and well, the Steinhagers and the Rugbroders, and I can't remember the other two, the Tugans and frick. Come on, I should remember that from and the
It was the
Hagens.
ones you just mentioned.
Hagens, Rugbroder, Steinhager, and Tugans are all being like, yeah, well, we're totally up for that. You're going to need to take a number and get in line because, well, big festival coming, very busy. Okay, so the following morning, I know that Mel, you said Coppertongue had a list of things that she was planning on doing today.
Yes.
What kind of things?
Okay. So after breaking her fast, she will head over, I guess, to the town hall or
Okay.
the town courts, whichever one is appropriate. She is going to look for any upcoming hangings to see if there's some fun to be had.
Ooh,
This is a quirk I haven't been able to use yet.
I forgot about it.
I'm not familiar with that one.
She loves a good hanging.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. So, obviously Soren is probably planning on going to the lawyer's place. Is there anyone else that is going with, or does everybody else have like, yeah, I need to go do this other thing?
Well, I got plenty of stuff to do, but I guess if they're going over there, I might as well.
What is
Back 'em
stuff
up.
that you want to do? You
Well,
don't have to go with them.
I mean, I don't want to leave them hanging necessarily, but no, I
Well,
gotta
if
visit
you're
the
going to leave them
folks.
hanging, then you need to make sure to let Coppertongue know because she'll
That's
want
true.
to watch.
Because I gotta visit the folks. I gotta go inform families, and I have to start poking around trying to find a stupid wizard that can maybe fix my sword, which is probably not going to work out for me, but I'm going to try anyway.
Okay. What about Enfys, what is his plans? Is he going to go with Soren and apparently Jorg, or is he like, screw that, I'm going to sit here and relax, or is he going to do something
I'm going to
else?
go with. I'll go with Soren.
Okay. What about Kristoff?
I think Christoph's anxiety is starting to kick in, being around so many people. I don't know what he wants to do. He wants to just get out of here. What time of day is it again? Morning?
In the morning, yeah.
Maybe he will might go to the temple and see if there's any coming holidays.
There are
Holy.
several temples, actually. Yeah, I'm wondering, when is
Let me look at the map here.
Well, you don't have to cry about it.
Yeah,
Let's
so
see. I don't know anything about the
through
gods, but I see
14.
Mermida, Boganar, Ulrich, Sigmar. Any of them
Right.
any of them have to do with like nature, outdoors, hunters, that kind of a thing?
Actually, yes, that would be the Shrine of Tall that is outside town.
Perfect. He will go there and
Okay.
pray.
So let me pull that up. Let's see.
Before we
So-
go,
I need to make a donation to Shalia too.
before we go to the lawyer's office, Søren will sit down with the group and say, look, what we're going to do here has a huge payoff. But if it doesn't go to plan, chances are we're going to swing for this.
And Copper Tongue's like, nope. And I'm going to go watch a hanging now.
Well, what do you want to do? Soren?
Maybe I shouldn't be a part of that.
Just thinking that through there, Copper Tongue. If you hold off for a couple days, then maybe you'll get to see Soren swing.
Ooh, tempting.
Soren, what is it that you? What do you want to do? How do you want to play this?
I'm wondering if there's another possible way we can manage this. Maybe they need someone to fill this role, and if we're upfront and honest and say that I'm not this person, but I look like him, perhaps they'll sign over the estate, and we can offer them 50% of the income. The lawyers, that is.
I don't know much about law, but my guess is that if you don't claim this money's just going to go to probably the crown.
Yeah, that's probably a good presumption.
I'm thinking it might be challenging to play the what is it, baronets, and actually run the estate, or just claim the money and run. It's more of a short-term thing.
Well, we could claim the money and run. Split it with the law firm, and then the rest of the estate goes to the crown, I guess.
Well, you're presuming the lawyers are on the up and up.
Well, there is this.
Maybe we should ask around town if people know anything about this person before you start presuming that identity.
Which person? Oh, Castor? Castor
Yeah.
Leaflong?
And
Probably,
also,
like I said previously, it doesn't look like he was from Bögenhafen. Simply based off of the doohickeys. What the hell was the affidavits? They were all signed by people in Nuln, so he's probably from Nuln or lived in Nuln.
Would I know that?
what about the guy that died?
Would I know if there's some magical way these lawyers would be able to discern the truth?
Goodness. Let's see. Well, do keep in mind with regards to magic is mostly still feared and distrusted by the majority of people. It is possible they could have some a spellcaster of some sort who might be able to do that, but that would be really, really expensive. And I'm simply based off of what Soren knows about the location. He's like, that's a little kind of small. You would think in that case it would be more like, present yourself to the the town court or the town hall, or go to Altdorf.
The road wardens that showed up, did we ever say to them anything about this identity?
Nope.
And what happened to the body of the real of the dude?
He was burned because remember you had a bunch of mutants nearby, and the road wardens are like, "Well, we are not even going to mess with this. We're just going to pile all of the bodies together, and we're going to burn them."
Right.
Especially after you guys described if you described what happened to the Lieberung's guards. I don't know if you did, but that was the those were the guys that started vomiting up the beetles, and then they just sort of deflated and became flesh suits.
Well, I'm
Christoph
going
is like-
to I'm
At
going
least
to
gonna
willfully
say-
fail my impulsiveness, and I'm just going to smack Soren upside the shoulder and say, "Get on with it. Let's get us some money."
Well, have you ever considered that Soren is actually related to this fellow, and that with this other fellow being dead, Soren might actually legally be entitled to inheritance? That would
Well-
be another consideration.
That was why I was asking if there's any records kept, because then we could investigate Soren's parents, or presumed parents, because maybe they were like foster parents or whatever, if they had any link to Baronet Lieberung.
Well, worst comes to worst, you could just start asking questions of the lawyer too. But at least for FX, you guys would have seen that shrine to Tal as you were entering. So there is that. And regarding Tal, he is the god of the wild. So he's the god of the wild places and animals, and the king of nature.
Does any one of our group have the skill research?
Nope.
Well, I'm actually surprised they didn't give emphasis research. Huh. Clearly, your master was one of those who's like, screw this research crap. Oh yeah, that plus you're like a pyromancer. It's like, we don't need to research this. We just need to burn it.
Yeah, I mean, I could burn any records that might prove anything.
Yep. So, decision.
Is Soren is Soren impulsive?
Yeah, he is. Let me just roll.
Oh,
It sounded like it's Nosh was like super sad that he succeeded.
So instead of, oh, what's the worst that can happen? Let's do it. Soren's going, a lot could happen. We should probably think about this a little.
It's probably because that road warden who was like looking at him funny his way back earlier, his got him thinking, oh yeah, this could be bad.
It's,
how come everybody keeps recognizing you, Soren?
I don't know, maybe this caster Lieberung got around a lot.
All right, there's got to be somebody in this town that knows about this dude.
Wait, which one are you talking? What do you mean recognizing him? That was because of his secret. It was triggering, and it was a
Yeah,
road
but-
warden.
We've been in how many taverns, and road wardens recognize him, and there's something going on.
Yeah, but Soren's not saying it's because he steals shit. He's blaming Caster.
Did they remove the option to just pull the image down? Not the image, but not the token. The portrait.
They had re-added it at one point, but I think it wasn't working the last time we tried it.
I think you have to hold shift or control or something like that.
I seem to remember, yeah, if you just try all the different extra keys, I think one of them is supposed to work. Oh, no, I think the deal was if there is a token already, then it doesn't work.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. So that's gonna
But
put.
you could always remove the token and re-add it later.
Well, I was just gonna do that for the various PCs so I could stick them on the map. So it's like, okay,
Yeah. No, I've always had to create those as tokens.
huh.
So Soren's 32. He went to the orphanage when he was 10, so 22 years has passed. Likelihood that there's someone at the orphanage that remembers him? I imagine pretty slim.
I would say probably.
Well, I don't know. Did he leave a good impression?
And I got to find out where the orphanage is.
Søren says, I want to try and find out some information. I may just be a legit heir to this.
Actually, it doesn't
Fortune.
look like there is an actual orphanage in town, because there is
So-
the current the current lead priest of Sigmar is trying to raise funds for an orphanage.
Ah,
So it'd probably be church would be taking kids in.
probably something like that.
Yeah. There is the Shalian Mercy House, which is, I think, over here, which is, in that general area, and that's the really low down, low down. That is called the Pit, the Northern District. It is widely regarded by the town's wealthier denizens as a lawless hive of sedition and criminal activity. In fact, the North Barracks there is actually referred to as Fort Blackfire, as a grim reference to the bloody battle fought in the Blackfire Pass, reflecting the hostile demeanor of the locals toward the town watch. That sounds like a pleasant place.
It would be funny if Søren was like Oliver Twist.
Yeah, but if it was raised by the church, then it would probably be Shalian. But was he actually raised like that? I thought he was actually grew up on the streets. So
All right, we will assume that he's grown up on the streets. At age 10, he could have turned into an urchin after his parents were brutally murdered in a alley after they went to the theatre. And this is my estate, and I'm going to rename Enfys Alfred.
Okay, so
So Søren's going to do some research on his parents.
all right.
So he'll go to you said it was Sisters of something that would probably keep these sort of records.
No, that'd be Verena, Temple of Verena, 12, number 12.
All right, so Søren will go there.
Where the hell is? Oh, there it is. Okay, so knowing that he is planning on spending some time doing some research, that will probably change Jorg's plans and possibly Enfys's as well. Although Enfys may just stick with him, to also do research. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll tag along and make sure he reads the correct books.
We know Jorg isn't going into a library because he can't read. He never learned to read.
Was that Shalia?
No, Verena, Temple of
Oh,
Verena.
okay, never mind. No, Jorg will be on his original plan.
So the original plan was okay. So he's basically going around checking with the families today. So yeah, he could probably stop by and donate en route. That is, I don't remember which one that one.
Right.
Which number it is? That's 14.
You said that was in the pits.
Yes. No, there's the proper temple of Shalia there, but in the pit they have a Shalian Mercy House.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So yeah, and it's like out of a small converted warehouse, and it's basically a soup kitchen.
Okay, well, I'll take their recommendation. This is going to be how many shillings I'll give them, because I can't count. Okay, minimum of 2.
I think that's right then.
She said 2.
Yeah.
I figured he'd grab a handful.
Okay. Okay. So, and then you will spend some time, going to various houses and knocking on or shops and such like that, doing that. So with regards to Copper Tongue's question, there is absolutely going to be, probably a couple of hangings because there's town this size. There are constantly thieves that have been caught. So there will be a couple that are scheduled.
Okay. So she will make note of those and plan to attend to them.
Okay. I need to probably make some notes from the fact that.
Well, how does she feel about the pillory? Stocks? Gibbets?
No, it's just hangings for some weird reason.
I mean, gibbets are pretty gruesome, depending on which version you're looking at. Yeah, there's the normal gibbet, and then there's the crow's cage.
Okay, so Infus and Soren are going to be doing research, so we'll have to figure out what your effective skill is. There will be bonuses and such like that. And how long is Christoph going to be at the shrine to Tal? And what's he doing afterwards?
He's not going to be there long. He'll be there long enough to pay proper respects, and he will leave a tithe of 10% of what he's got. If, however they do that in those days, to the priest or
Okay.
whatever. So he will leave 6 shillings.
Oh, it's expensive. I'm trying to find the. Okay, yeah, here we go. So, with regard, let's see, just outside the town on the road to Helmgart, also towards right, stands a small shrine to Tal, where travelers offer prayers as they set out to the mountains. Maintained by local hunters and woodsmen, the shrine consists of a small circular dry stone hut with a conical thatched roof, and a deer skull hangs over the lintel. While Bögenhafen has its share of vagrants and the down at heel, none dare sleep in Tal's hut for fear of offending the wild god. Let's see. So, yeah, so it's like by tradition, it does say local hunting parties leave a portion of Tal's bounty in the shrine for the god. These offerings always disappear overnight, but that's fine. Yeah, so yeah, that I'm certain there's going to be some place for you to do that. And then once you are done with that, where is he planning on going?
Well, he's going to plan on going back to meet with Soren and Jorg and Memphis. If they're going to figure out how to do this impersonation thing.
Okay.
So he'll head back to wherever the group was going to be.
Right. Well, I'm gonna operate on the presumption that Soren is going to have declared, yeah, I'm going to go do some dang research at the Temple of Verena before I go over there. So that's easy enough to do. All right.
Yeah, they'll be easier to find.
So Copper Tongue, after you get that, what is the next thing that you are planning on doing, since you said you had a list?
Copper Tongue is going to, hang on, I lost the map. I'm sorting through windows.
Hold on, I can reshare it.
No, I got it. It was zoomed in. She is, I think, going to go over to the Metal Workers Guild and poke around for a good bit. Oh, not the guild, like a smithy. I'm sorry. Although metal workers might work too. I don't know. She might do both.
Was she a guild member?
I don't think
If
so.
she was,
Actually,
it would have
she'd
been
probably
an
have rank
overstrike.
if she did.
I'm trying to find.
Would that be under like advantages and perks?
Yeah.
Okay, no, she is not.
Doesn't mean she can't be one.
She is a master builder.
What
That's
was
just
that?
that's a talent.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, no,
Means,
she does
you know,
not have a guild
that's-
membership.
That's like a bump to some stuff. I don't remember which.
Yeah. Well, you could potentially have like a rank 0 in a guild, which basically would just mean you're an apprentice to somebody. And that would have been 0 points, but it would have been quote unquote membership.
Yeah, if she had anything like that, it would be with the rune forging, but I don't have one listed, or rune smithing, I'm sorry. So anyway, so she'll start off at the smith, like the smithy, and hang around there for a while, strike up some conversations, and then after that, she might make her way over to the Metal Workers Guild to check it out.
Okay. Yep. You will definitely find they are pretty darn busy. In all regards. So it's like upon seeing you, several of the smiths will immediately ask if you are looking for work and if you are a member of this guild or that guild, or et cetera, because They are crazy busy right now.
Queen will say, not a member of a guild, but definitely looking for work. And she'll crack her knuckles.
I am looking through this. So none of them can actually hire anyone because guilds are super, super powerful in this time period. So they will definitely direct you towards the Metalworkers Guild to see if you can possibly join or become a member. And
And she'll go do that.
let's see. The Metalworkers Guild is a tall, narrow building situated on the Eisenbahn, not far from the Carpenters Guild. Its facade bears an intricately wrought iron sculpture of a griffin, the work of. Well, you don't know that. In the guild house lies a series of offices and clerks. No workshops are on site, as the smoke, heat, and incessant banging of a metalworker shop are not conducive to sensitive business meetings. Well, yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Let's see. So now I need to find out. Damn it! That I totally meant to do this week, and I completely forgot. I need to find out how much it would cost to actually join a guild. Do you know the answer to that, Daniel?
It cost you your first 12 years of life.
Well, but you're already past 12 years of life.
Yeah, I don't. You have to become an apprentice. Somebody has to accept you as an apprentice, and that typically only happens through familial connections and that sort of thing. I don't think you typically just walk in off the street, but that's just based on my research on it, and it may differ here, and there may be
Yeah.
other ways.
Well, in
I
this
guess if you
case,
made a good enough impression on somebody.
plus dwarves or dwarfs. I need to remember that for whatever stupid reason in Warhammer Fantasy, the plural is dwarfs, not dwarves, which just is so weird to me. But they have the automatic reputation as being, among the best of the best in terms of like smithing and such like that. So I could totally see a human guild sort of maybe making some exceptions, presuming they're like, okay, well, show me what you've got, sort of thing. So due to the established and declared they are crazy stupid busy, the clerks will redirect you to the guild master himself. He introduces himself, and he doesn't have a picture yet because I didn't know I was going to need a picture. Clearly, he needs a picture.
Wahahaha.
I got to make a note. Guildmaster Davrik Schweitzer?
You need an image of Sir Nut appearing in this film.
But he could be important.
I actually did try to find a picture of that baby.
That baby?
Yeah, when they page over to Sir Nut appearing in this film, there's a baby in a helmet.
Oh. Right. So he's immediately goes into checking in with regards to okay, what are you good at, what are your capabilities, do you know any gunsmithing?
Okay. Queen will go down the list of what she can work with. That she works with iron, lead, and tin.
Okay, standard metals.
Yep. Would the rune smithing be a not necessarily a secret, but something she wouldn't want to advertise, considering these are not dwarves?
That is probably true.
Okay, so she will keep
plus
that to herself.
she'd want to actually finish her anvil thing. Actually,
Yep.
just thinking that you added smith, lead, and tin. Okay, so it's already. I was just wondering because I know the master builder may automatically increase it. Okay, so he is also curious about how long are you planning on being in town, because this isn't something that they can just hand out willy-nilly. If you're going to be here, what did you throw in here? Oh, right. So he'll be like they will need like a binding period of time. I don't know. It's probably like a year and a day where you would work for them.
Oh, because I think we were talking about like taking the return trip with the people. Were we? Y'all remind me?
That or
Mhm.
maybe jumping on the boat with Yosef.
We
Hadn't fully decided yet.
we hadn't agreed to anything.
Okay.
Yep.
So she'll kind of be a little vague, and just say, don't have specific plans, but likely not going to be here for a year. Probably more like for 2 or 3 weeks until after the festival or whatever it is that's going on.
Okay. So, well, he's like, well, we would like to work with that, but got too much stuff that we have to, got to make sure long-term stuff. But he will suggest, say if you end up changing your mind and decide to, stay here for a while, then maybe we can discuss possible employment.
Queen will nod and say, fair enough, and hop down and make her way out.
All right. Cool. Let's see. Okay, research people. Research defaults to IQ -5 or writing -3. I don't think either of you or any of you have writing, but I believe Christoph, Enfys, and Soren are all literate.
Is there
Oddly
someone
enough.
at this place that is, air quotes, a librarian that could help?
There, it is a. Let me back. It is. I forgot to even explain it. Temple of Verena. The classically designed Temple of Verena is a relatively recent building, constructed only a few decades ago, when the council appointed their first non-Verenan magistrate and required the local Verenan clergy to vacate the courts, which they had maintained for centuries. The temple has one full-time priestess. There's a small number of initiates, which are mostly younger sons of mercantile families who wanting to go on to university. Let's see. So let me scroll back up for something else. So it is possible you may end up being able to do that. There we go. The Temple of Verena. Let's see. So, provided you provide, if you provide a suitable donation, like 10 shillings or more, and or like a book containing some rare lore or something like that, it is possible that the Mother Greta will conduct any of the research for you.
So is it 10 shillings?
10 shillings or some sort of rare book or something like that.
All right. Well, only have the money. Don't have any rare books.
Okay.
You have a
That's
finely worded legal document.
10 shillings. All right. Fork out the 10 shillings.
Okay. So what are the nature of the who just posted libraries?
No, he didn't.
It's still libraries. So what are the nature of the questions that you are trying to learn?
Trying to learn more about Soren's parents, records of them.
So tell me, how did Soren's parents actually die? Were they like, actually thieves just as like you were? So it's a family business and got hanged.
Hey, I got
No,
some
no.
tarot cards over here if you want one.
No, they were murdered in a failed robbery attempt in a back alley outside the theatre.
Yeah, but you didn't vow revenge.
I might now.
Little late. You're supposed to come back
do you
in
have-
25.
Do you have your tarot cards handy?
Yeah, they're right over here.
He always has to.
Allow
be.
me to
He's
shuffle.
a weirdo. He's a super weirdo. Damn it. Did I I totally think there's actually there actually is a tarot mod.
Yeah, that was the one that I got from Hal. All right, I'd have you cut the cards, but well, you can't.
Yeah, but I don't have it.
All right, the question is, how did his parents die? Ace of Wands.
Of death.
Well, I suppose you could say they got clubbed to death.
What was it? Ace of
Wands, upright.
Clubbed to death. Ugh.
Well, Søren does believe that all wizards are ultimately fools.
And Infus looks at him funny.
No, Enfys is looking up. At
Yeah,
the
we're kind of
ceiling,
fools.
quite bored, just waiting for someone to, say, "Look at this."
I don't know. There's plenty of books around here. You could totally be poking around and maybe possibly reading some, or you could,
If there's anything,
totally bail.
if there's anything that looks interesting, I'll pull a book down and start reading.
Actually, I also have the mythic
Well, you could do that.
prompt thing as well.
I think my interpretation of this would be a traveler showed up, and they took him in, and he ended up killing him.
The mythic idea generator generated 2 words: utterly ravage.
Those could work together.
Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so they died weird. They let's see. Both of them came down with some sort of illness, and they ended up dying. He did not find out. Soren was told one thing, but as the whatever his, this is how they actually die, or this is how they died, and she doesn't know that she's necessarily talking to him. So she's telling him what the official story was. Is that they were suffering from some strange illness that the local physicians could not heal, and for whatever reason, when they died, their face was purple. Their eyes were actually almost bulging from their head, and their tongue was super big and bloated. So they promptly burned them.
Okay, so that's
said what the official story was, or whatever it was.
all right. So that's how they died. He wants to find information on who they were, and if there's any relationship from them to Liberungs. How many kids did they have? Actually, no, Søren would have known that. Well, maybe not.
Well, he might
maybe
not be aware of their extended family situation.
Maybe Søren does have a twin brother, and they gave away that kid to the Liberungs.
Let's see. So you are how old? 30. It's she's going to apologize that they this particular temple was just erected about 25 years ago or so. So I was it 2025, something like that. So they did not. They don't have the birth records here like they would have.
So where would those birth records be? Now?
If they're even they weren't really keeping them. It's not until she sort of took over that she's been pushing for that sort of thing. And it's even then it's going to be super shoddy and half-assed.
And by birth records, they probably mean somebody wrote in a journal saying such and such was born on this day.
Yep. But as far as she knew, they were just regular townspeople, and they had. She thought they had a son. Or was it a daughter? It's been a while.
What about Castor Liberung and Baronet Liberung?
Neither of those names are sound familiar to her.
And there's nothing in the records that she finds.
Nope. She is kind of curious about. Well, why are you looking into this? Something going on? Actually, I wonder if she is curious. Yeah, she's Verena. They're super curious.
They're librarians, of course. They're curious. Søren will say, I wanted to know about my family's history. Anything that I could find.
You're the son. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's a long time ago. I've come to terms with it. But that's all you could find, hey?
Yes, unfortunately, it doesn't look like they were your parents were. She's going to find a diplomatic way of saying they weren't wealthy, so they did not likely keep. They weren't considered important for the records. But she's going to find a really diplomatic way of putting that, so it doesn't occur to you that's what she meant until you're no longer in the temple.
And it doesn't mention any names of kids or anything like that. Just that there was a son born.
Right.
All right. Well, Enfys, doesn't look like we've found anything useful here.
Yeah. Is there any books jump out at me as I'm looking through things?
Well, that would be weird.
Well, that depends on what you're possibly looking for. I mean, it's a whole bunch of various stuff. There's stuff about the merchant families. There's general books on religion and prophecy, and because of course it's a temple, and that sort of stuff. General history, etc.
All right. No, nothing really captures my eye, at least in relation to what Soren's looking for. So I will head out with Soren.
Okay, so it sounds like Soren and Enfys and Kristoff has linked back up with you guys. It's probably a bit later in the day, probably around noonish, because Jorg has been going around talking to the people. Oh yeah, I did mean to jump there to Jorg. You will get probably the expected reactions. Some of the family see you coming with that expression that you're inevitably wearing. They already know, and they're like, right, saw this coming, knew this was coming. Some of them will break down. Some of them just like go, well, I told him not to go.
Some of them will laugh.
Yep, pretty much. Why do I keep getting this error? I guess somebody's setting to AFK. Keep seeing error. Unknown special message type received. Set AFK.
Yeah, when you set AFK, that brings that up. I don't know why. I don't think it's the GURPS rule set. I think it's Fantasy Grounds.
Is it because you're doing like / set AFK instead of right click and marking, doing it that way?
Well, I've had the error come up when I right click and go set AFK. I don't know about the / AFK.
Interesting. Okay.
Did it come up then?
It did.
Yeah, that was the / AFK.
Interesting.
And I guess it came up there again.
Yep. A little disconcerting. Okay. So, what is the next step for the pseudo research group?
I think we should take it back to the group if everyone's cool with potentially swinging from ropes, looking at Copper Tongue in particular.
Nope.
Copper Tongue doesn't want any part of it, and Soren will say 20,000 gold crowns.
That's amusing. Success by
Yep.
2 against both
Yep.
honesty and greed.
Queen is pretty torn on this one. It's the outlook unclear. Ask again later in the Magic 8 Ball.
Well, to be fair, that means that she defeated both of her disadvantages there. So technically, she could do whatever she wants.
She doesn't need to be honest, and she doesn't necessarily need to be greedy either.
Queen will, let's see, Jorg is our de facto leader, right?
Yeah, what do you say, Jorg?
Yeah, she will defer to Jorg. If Jorg is like, we're all in, she'll not be real happy about it, but she'll go.
Well, you may have some difficulties tracking York down. He's got a bunch of places to go and doesn't have an itinerary to hand out.
Well, I assume this is sort of at the end of the day because we would have spent most of that researching.
Well, at the end of the day, he's probably going to be out at his folks' farm.
Okay.
I think he would have mentioned that, but
Your parents have a farm and we're paying for rooms in the inn?
It's
we
not
just showed up in the middle of the night.
It's not in Bögenhafen. It's outside. It's a bit of distance away, actually. So you're gonna have to hoof it. Probably, I think you have I want to say a sister or a brother in town. I can't remember which.
Did I?
So I think, I am not positive.
That sounds familiar.
I'm looking and clicking and trying to get there before I forget. Let's see. You have dead older brother who was murdered, probably by not Infus, but probably by Soren's family,
Mhm.
or something like that. Older brother who is at the family house with his family. Older brother who moved away, so he's probably an Altdorf. Let's see. You have a younger sister you're not particularly close to. She's married off, so she might be in town. And ditto with the other younger sister. You're not very
I
close to
think
your family.
I think all of the actual family members are going to be at the farm, but Ludolf will be in town.
Okay, right. Did
Which
I actually
now
do
my
a thing
assumption
for him?
was the farm would be about like an hour's walk or something outside of town.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So you may end up trying to. Did I? Damn it! I don't think I ever got around to making an image for him. No, wait, I did, but I don't know if I did a thing. I'm
I
looking.
thought I remembered you showing
Oh,
it to me.
I never mind. I stand corrected. I just have to get everything in the right size. Okay, yeah. So you could probably seek out Ludolf, who is something of a merchant. He is in the Merchants Guild, but he has not. Uh, what's the word? We got. He's in the Merchants Guild, but he is not on the small council. So
Right.
he's probably like third, fourth, fifth in line, something like that. He will be happy to see you, surprised to see you.
Yeah, actually, I think I'll probably visit him while I'm looking for the gold wizard because maybe he knows somebody.
Okay, so give me a universe reaction roll. Let's see if he does know anything about
Right.
wizardy stuff. I just sort of envision across
Big
town,
money.
Infus like perks up for some reason.
Eh.
He's heard some rumors, but they're rumors. What do you need? What do you need a wizard for?
Oh, it's kind of embarrassing, really, but I broke a sword, and it's a really nice sword, and you know how it is. You can't just fix those. So thought maybe if there was a wizard about, he might be able to magic it back together.
He's totally a merchant. He's like gonna just be thinking, why don't you just buy a new one?
Well, I could, but this is, that he'll show him the sword. It was a nice piece of work.
That's not what Copperton kept telling you. She kept telling you that it was junk. You should throw it away because it was gonna break on you one day.
Absolutely junk.
She's just picky.
Or maybe
Your
she was
hide.
psychic. She did say that's gonna break one day. Okay, hold on. I need to.
Well,
Okay.
sword hasn't broken.
To be fair, he's he sneaks around a lot and tries to avoid getting into actual fights. Okay. Well, he's going to offer to take you to dinner tonight. After he gets out of his meetings and such like that, catch up.
Yeah, okay. We got a week before Schaffenfest, I guess. So we could go out to the farm tomorrow night, or tomorrow maybe then.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. I can see how Frank is doing. He gets the yeah look.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you can do that, and heck, we can. I'll even lend you my coach.
Oh,
I'm
excellent.
gonna be stuck in meetings all day anyway. But yeah, so with that, that means he will not necessarily be out at the farm. So conveniently enough, the PCs
Sure.
can link together and discuss courses of action, and then it can cycle back to around where Mel said that Copper Tongue is going to rely on what York says, all in or not.
Well, funnily enough, York is like, I'll back your play if you really want to do this, but I don't know.
So, we agreed.
I don't know if
Let's
I call
check it
that
out.
greed.
Okay.
We'll split it. Even.
Let's roll with it. What's the worst that can happen? We take a fast horse out of town.
That's
But I
probably
tell
not
you-
the worst that could happen.
I tell you, we're out if they say that we have to pay 100 gold crowns to get the money out of
Uh-huh.
a bank account.
I just need you to sign this in blood right here. Okay. So the Gartenweg is it's a little street running eastwards from the Hafenstrasse, just northwest of the Golden Trout Club, which is a pretty darned expensive club. There are several equally small buildings flanking it. It's definitely kind of close to the financial hub of town, but the general size is kind of small. Maybe they're just really, really private. The shutters on the windows have been opened. The doors, not yeah. I was going to say not open, but it's a door. Sign above the door reads "Lock, Stock, and Barrel, Lawyers, etc."
All right. Well, head on in.
All right. Inside there is a young clerk who is like sitting at a desk, and he looks up. He's like looked like he was kind of bored. He's immediately asks if he can help you.
I have this here letter, and I'll produce the letter.
He will skim over it, and he's like, "And the affidavits? Do you also have those?"
I do.
Right. He will take those. He's like, "All right. Well, Herr Barl has been looking forward to meeting you, Herr Lieberung. I'll let him know that you arrived. Please have a seat." And there are a couple seats around there. It's it's an office.
How many of
Yeah.
us are
Looks
in this room?
suitably bodyguard-like.
Looks like everybody came. Yay! He rings a small bell twice, and he's like clearly waiting. And he hears a gruff "enter." Then takes the two documents into another room. And as soon as he opens the door, he's like, "Herr Barl, I have the Herr Lieberung's stuff. Well, not stuff, but I have the document." And he goes in, and as soon as the door closes, everybody goes, "Yep, there it is." Several things happened. You will see the shutters that are across the windows that were up. They drop, and you will also hear bolts being drawn across them.
I look at Soren and say, trouble lands on you like flies on.
Shut it. Shut it. Don't want to hear it.
And just as he finishes, you will hear a voice call out rather loudly, "Caster Lieberung, otherwise known as the Magister Impedime of the Cult of the Purple Hand. In the name of the Emperor, I arrest you and your companions for conspiring with chaos, murder, theft, and other crimes hereinafter to be enumerated. Lay down your weapons and surrender."
I don't really know him.
Bloody.
I just came in to get a fishing license.
And now
this
everybody's
not a fishing license
locked
place?
in here.
Wrong kind of fishing.
Soren says out loud, "Fuck my life."
I nudge Soren and say, "I've got this." And I shout out, "This isn't Caster Lieberman. We're here to tell you about how we killed Caster Lieberman."
Okay, it looks like Christoph has failed his bad temper check, although Coppertongue succeeded at hers. So she's probably just disgusted, not angry. Infus has just stated that. How is Christoph reacting with his bad temper, and what is Jorg doing?
Which one do you want first?
Christoph.
I think Christoph's gonna get up to his feet. He's like, "Who the bloody hell are you? We're just here to."
Well, right now you guys are in the. I'm gonna do a thing. Not gonna be important.
What was the spiel? Did they actually identify themselves?
No, the spiel, as it were. There's the spiel. They did not identify themselves.
Okay, well, that was your next operation was to inquire as to whom we have the pleasure of being arrested.
Christoph says the same thing, but in not so nice of language.
Yeah, Yerk translates.
Well, as you guys are doing that, Infus did shout out the whole, hey, yeah, this isn't him. We whacked that dude. There is a long pause as you are sitting there waiting to hear a response, and then there's this terrible sound heard from outside. It's just like just this hideous ripping and tearing noise. You hear screams echoing, and then there's like even more sickening rending sounds, and then it gets completely quiet.
I hope that was them tearing up the warrant.
So nobody
What-
has actually entered the room.
No one has entered the room.
Empus will say, "Fine, don't believe me," and I'll walk over to the door and try to open it.
The door is actually it looks like it's been locked or barred from the outside.
I presume
Doesn't
that's
mean you can't.
unusual.
That is super unusual.
So as soon as the sounds start breaking out outside,
Yep.
Queen is just going ahead and strapping on that shield. And like, oh, it's on.
After the sounds outside have abated, is it quiet?
It is quiet.
Jorg is going to observe Emphas trying the door and suggest that Copper, if you don't mind,
Don't mind
pointing
what?
at the door, make a little axe hand gesture.
Oh, got it. She'll draw the axe. I need a minute.
I'm certain York could kick it down.
Sounds like whatever happened outside is over. He'll give it a
about
good
the-
shove anyway, just to see.
What about the door over here?
It was also one of those that was secured. That's where the dude walked into, as if he was going to address someone.
You give
Oh,
it a
wait,
shot.
no, that one was not. Sorry. I have to remind myself. How do I turn this off? That door is not unlocked. It opens, and if I can, is this it? I think that's it. You can immediately see that is not the kind of stuff you would see in a lawyer's office.
Well,
So there's
they could
nobody
be
in here.
moonlighting.
There is nobody in here. You can see there's another door that is over there. I think that's a door. No, wait, that's one of the shuttered windows. But the door over here, if you go over there and check, it is also clearly been bolted from the outside. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to guess if there's any way for me to sense any magic of any kind at play here.
Let's see. I don't think you can. I'm trying to remember how that actually officially works. I
Sensing
think
magic
you have
item.
to touch it. Normally, I think there is a way, but it's you don't have that. It's like right. There should be like a detect thing that some wizards could theoretically pick up, but I don't think you have it.
No, I don't.
I will make a note on that and let you know how much it would end up costing in the event that you do decide, I do want to pick this up. All right, so Copper starts hewing the door down. You're about halfway through it, and you suddenly start hearing other screams outside, but it doesn't sound like it's like immediately right here. It sounds more like further down that way or further down that way. Like maybe whatever it is that's out there, someone has just noticed it. Because remember the location on the map. This is pretty close to the center of town.
We only hear the screams. We don't hear like any other noise.
That is correct.
Okay.
Those new screams, were they sort of getting ripped apart screams or just surprised to see bad things screams?
The latter. And you finish hewing through the door. It collapses. In well, not collapses. It's like
Splinters.
and there's like large chunks of it just hanging there. And you step out, and you are immediately horrified at the sight out there. You'll see all in this area here is looks like 5-6 bodies or something that have been literally ripped apart. There's like pieces of them have been scattered around. You can like see a person's head that looks like it's been tossed. There's blood all over the place. I need a fright check at -3 from everyone.
Looks like we missed the party.
Infus.
That's not
fine.
entirely a bad thing.
Damn. Again, Jorg? Yeah.
I usually make those.
Okay. So we
-3
got
though.
Infus by 4, Soren by 1, Jorg failed by 1, Copper Tongue failed by 3, Christoph failed by 6. All right. Well, let's see what happens when you roll on your fright table at that. Remember, I guess Christoph would be at +6, and Copper Tongue's at +3.
I'm gonna find a table.
Hey, you got a new quirk there, Copper Tongue.
Yay.
So we had our failure to the roll.
Yep.
Okay. Fright check table.
Come on, big money. Do something really cool there, Christoph.
16. That sounds
That's
high.
not very. That's not very. Oh, hey, also acquire a new quirk.
Stunned.
Yep. So Copper Tongue and Christoph are going to gain a new quirk. It should probably be related in some capacity to this. You can figure out how you want to do that. Like maybe you automatically distrust lawyers. No, wait, that's just common sense.
Well, it's based on what we saw, right? See, like
It could be.
blood.
Yeah.
It's something like that. Yeah.
What would you call a phobia of severed heads?
Decapitophobia.
Not bad.
Hard as hell to say. As you're looking around, some of you are horribly stunned. You will hear the clatter of metal on either side of this. Up there.
I did a word.
You're hot micing really badly there, FX. The
Sorry
clatter of
about
metal.
that.
No worries. From the, I guess it'd be north and from south, as 2 pairs of town watch come charging into the area to see what the hell people who were screaming and running away, why they were screaming and run away. And they see you standing basically over this hideous mess of bodies and torsos and heads and arms, and they immediately draw their weapons, and they're doing the shouting for you to throw down your arms and surrender, while one of them is going to immediately produce a whistle and start blowing really, really hard on it.
Okay, so Queen will hold up her hands and show her axe as being clean, and she'll just yell out, "Note, clean axe! We were locked in there. We just found them."
Yeah, let's all be nice and compliant right now.
Yeah, it does look possibly bad. Not that bad. I mean, you are pretty clean, but
And Soren
yes.
will say, whatever it was went that way, and he'll point in the direction.
Okay. So, am I correct in operating on the presumption that everyone is going to participate or cooperate? You are
Queen
not going
will
to make it.
cooperate.
Compliance will be rewarded.
Will it though? Will it?
Yeah, Enfys isn't going to put up any protestation.
All right, Christoph and Soren, what about you guys? I mean, you guys are, one of you is a thief and one of you is already branded as a possible thief.
I'll die before I go back.
Well, Soren doesn't have a criminal record or anything like that, does he?
He's got a secret.
He's got a secret, but he doesn't actually have a criminal record.
Well, if his secret comes out, he'll have a criminal record.
Well, if it's exposed, yeah.
Okay, so as long as no one is going to resist,
Christoph cries.
Okay, so no one is in the plans on being resisting. You will be arrested. Because hey, they don't know what's going on. They're just they're just, well, at least they're not beating you into the ground. So there is that. You will be divested of your weapons and such once they sort of recognize that infant. Well, actually, yeah, I guess they would have because they're going to find Infant's apprentice license. They are going to require him to be gagged and definitely warned. It's like don't try to cast any spells. We'll have to cave your bloody head in.
I'll say it's not the first time I've been.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
And you will be taken to the watch barracks. And as you are, sort of led back out into the area, or the the main thoroughfare, you definitely see that whatever the hell just happened spread out. Really, I mean, people were like running. They were causing something of an issue. Maybe spilled over and turned into like a mini riot. But you'll be taken to the watch barracks, which actually is, I got to remind myself where the hell that's at. Main guard barracks, Funf. That is actually pretty far away. Actually, it's all the way over here. Oh yeah, what was that? Was that Glimpses of Clarity? I think that was called the quirk level flashbacks.
Yeah, I think so.
I just don't remember how it necessarily works. So you'll be taken there. You'll be imprisoned, at least overnight, which is going to be underneath there. So you'll spend a pretty crowded night with a handful of other brawlers, because, well, there was something of a fight. Oddly enough, a large number of the people that are imprisoned looked almost like carnival types. You have a couple of white-faced mimes who are like gesticulating energetically, but they're not talking. There's like some clowns and some regular people. You've got this little halfling girl who is just well, I don't want to say girl because she's clearly not a girl, but she looks like she's a kid, but she like has this fake beard and she like immediately latches on to the copper tongue, and she is like doing the wow, you're a real dwarf.
Am I still gagged?
They will remove the gag, but again, they will warn you that any spell casting will result in immediate execution. They're clearly not screwing around.
All right. Well, as soon as
like,
I see the clowns, I'll say, "Hey, Queenie, you're gonna fit right in here."
He said clowns and then regular people.
Queen will just give him a rude gesture.
There's
Queen
even,
will.
Yeah, go ahead.
Queen will look in admiration at the halfling's beard until she realizes it's fake, and then be like, "Oh, kind of sad."
Kristoff will look at anybody that's giving him a look where he's like, "What the bloody hell you looking at? Want me to bash your face in?"
And the white-faced mime, raises his hands at like you. It's like, no, don't do that sort of thing, but never says a word.
He just glares at anybody, and if anybody gets close to him, he's gonna lash out.
The mimes are just gonna be like, he clearly Kristoff is in an invisible box. There's even an old guy who's like everybody. He's like at first you thought maybe he was actually a mutant because he almost looks like he had a tentacle for an arm, but then he like pulls his arm out of the tentacle, and he's just like scratches. He's like, oh, that thing is so damned hot, and then he's like secretly he's like, hey, I got some brandy, as he like takes a flask from his special mutant arm.
Hey, buddy.
And needless to say, it's an awkward, long evening. It's just like, what the hell just happened?
Søren's going to be mostly silent.
Just mostly? Doesn't look like you're going to make your dinner tonight there, Jorg.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'd try to talk one of the guards into sending him a message, but I doubt they'll do that.
In the late morning, the next morning, which I need to adjust the thingy, doot, doot, you will hear a watchman, calling out names and, calling out your names. All right, let's go. You have a date with the court.
Excellent. I'm going to
Oh,
mine my entire way through this.
Oh,
Nope.
hooray.
They are absolutely putting a gag in on Enfys, and you have this really big, grim-looking dude who's like wearing, heavy armor and the symbol of Sigmar, and he's like, sitting there just straight up glaring at Enfys, and he's just like, patting his hammer like he's wanting you to mouth off to him.
Oh, Enfys, your boyfriend's here.
The lot of you will be clad in manacles as you are escorted outside. There is a nice barred wagon that's waiting for everybody. They're like, get in.
I was expecting a coach.
Yeah, we know who you
I-
are, Lang.
This feels like a deja vu moment for Christoph.
Yeah, he probably doesn't like it at all, does he? Crap! Now I have to remember the name that had given. Where was that guy's name?
How thoroughly were we searched?
What are you trying to possibly conceal?
Lockpicks.
Well, you can try. All right, so that means what is it I use? Is it search?
Search.
In
I don't
PC?
know. I don't know what the bulk of lockpicks would be, so
Probably zero, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think 0.
well, it could actually
All
be
right, so you
pluses.
succeeded by 1, and I succeeded by 1.
So defend who wins.
It's a quick contest. Actually, that one probably
Is it a quick
requires a
contest?
winner. Hold out 200. La la la. Da-da-da. One lockpick, a huge jewel, a set of lockpicks is +1, actually. Yeah, so that means you won.
+1 to what? The skill?
+1 to the holdout.
Okay. So you're going to be aware that you probably still have them, although they
Cool.
are keeping a pretty close eye on the lot of you.
Ah, okay. Says to spot a concealed item, roll a quick contest of search skill versus holdout. So if he did not win that contest, then he failed to spot it.
Yep. So there's a low-lying fog that's drifting over the streets, slightly muffles the sound as as the wagon sort of rolls through the Gottenplatz and into the Dreckplatz, where you are led into the town courts. The walls are elaborately decorated with banners denoting the von Sapanatheim coat of arms. That's the Graf who's in charge of the duchy, as well as Bögenhafen's symbol. There is an elaborately robed judge. A judge. Where is that at? That is there. Who is, even though the image doesn't show it because it refused to show it, is draped in black and red, and he's also got the long white wig that British judges wear, which I cannot get my AI to generate for in any reason, for any reason. He has
Maybe there's a proper name for it.
I'm not sure what it is, but you know what I mean, right? That
Yeah.
those weird. Yeah, do they use them down under in the underworld?
I think only in the Supreme Court, but it's generally
Okay.
you don't,
Well, I don't think
generally
they-
see it.
I don't think they wore wigs like that in the medieval period anyway, or even the Renaissance, because they wore wigs like that normally.
Doesn't matter. They also didn't have spells and shoot stuff. He has a small pair of spectacles that he but it's like on a stick. He'll occasionally lift it up and use them to read something. And he's like looking kind of bored as you come in, and kind of tired. And he's like, immediately, glances at his clerk. He's like, "Are these the accused?" And the clerk reads the names that you have given them. I don't know if you have given them your official names. For some of you, like Christoph or Soren, and he'll pause each time he reads off a name to for somebody to go, "Oh, yep, that's me." And eventually satisfied, he will nod to the judge. He's like, yeah. All right, read the charges. The clerk clears his throat and then intones, "You stand accused of destruction of private property, disruption of commerce, inciting a riot, contributing to general lawlessness, and murder most foul." And the magistrate, he's like, well, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Innocent.
Not bloody hell guilty.
And just as you guys sort of finish this, again, black-robed woman in the same kind of wig, enters. And she's like, "Say nothing else." He's like, your pardon, Your Honor, but I need a brief recess to consult with my clients before they say anything they'll regret." And the magistrate looks from her to you guys and is like, "These really?" It's like, "All right." And he pounds the gavel and he's like, "We shall have a short recess." And she is going to point to a lot of you and say, "All right, follow me, please." And there's some guards that are obviously coming with, but as soon as you, and it's like clearly like a meeting room of some sort, and she's like, no, not you, to the guards. Is like, "Outside, you can stand outside, you cannot be inside." They look a little grumpy, but they obey, and she shuts the door and she's like, "Well, seems we're kind of in a spot of trouble, huh?" And then promptly identify or
Oh,
introduce
God.
herself. She's like, "My name is Asana Winandis."
Oh, okay.
What were you thinking?
Not what I was thinking. I figured it was going to be that chick that we ran into outside of What's It Town with the goblins.
Oh, yeah. No, that'd have been funny.
She's cute.
What's it town with the goblin? What chick?
Guy Spock.
Oh, damn. I wish I had thought of that. Like, well, she looks at the scroll and she's like, I have to ask, who did you anger? They're trying to lay the whole of this riot that happened at your feet.
There was a riot?
Oh, they didn't tell you that part. Yeah, there was a riot. Apparently there was a bunch of bodies that were discovered that were torn apart. And according to these charges, she says, as she looks down to the thing, it says you started the brawl, you attacked some soldiers, you near ransacked the town, and oh dear, you killed Faustin the Fiery. The children will never forgive you for that one.
Wow. That's what we get.
We
for
were very
talking about
active
lawyer
for
talk.
somebody that just walked out of a door.
Huh. Well, interesting.
Although,
I am
in
very-
full honesty, we did hack the door down.
Eh.
Only because we were locked in the room.
I hacked the door down. Queen will
So
just
On
that
my
means
orders.
the destruction of private property is valid.
They locked us in.
Yeah, we were incarcerated unlawfully and awfully.
Yes, well, we've identified one of the dead that was outside. Well, we identified his head. One of the guards recognized him as a bounty hunter, mostly out of Altdorf. And I'm feverishly scrolling for something to find what his name is again.
Something German
That's-
sounding.
Well, it's going to be Adolphus, but I just don't remember what his last name is.
Lundgren.
Kuftsos. So, is there any reason why you may have a bounty hunter chasing after you?
Not that we could think of.
It also does kind of occur to, frankly, all of the PCs that barristers or lawyers are generally really expensive, and usually they only they're only used by the wealthy.
Yeah, we're going to get to that question in a bit.
Okay, well, yeah, you can chime
Well-
in and start asking any questions you want to know straight away.
Should we
So,
probably go over the whole
unless somebody
story?
cuts him off. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, should we just go ahead and lay out the whole story, like how we wound up there?
You should You should roll honesty to see if you have a Goonies chunk moment.
Yes, I should.
Started in 5th grade.
No,
Nope.
she
She's good.
keeps her cool. So Jörg is going to say, so the you found how many bodies mutilated, horribly torn to shreds, probably by hand,
5 to 7.
and
It's not entirely clear.
we had no blood on us, and our weapons were not soiled.
Yes. Okay.
I think those two probably don't fit together.
Not to mention that some of us soiled ourselves when we saw the
You
bodies.
haven't been involved in very many court cases, have you, Master Yang?
Just the one.
Ah, yes. Well, regardless, there's difficult times here in Bögenhafen. Justice is often denied. I do what I can to ensure that the scales are a little bit more balanced. But it definitely looks to me like you are being set up for something.
That's twice in one day.
So I mean, it's like, yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of doing what you can, why are you
Why am I?
What are
doing
you?
what you can here?
Well,
Are you a barrister or are you a plant?
a plant. I don't know what you mean by that.
I mean, are you here to just get information to further the cause of the Crown's case against us?
I am absolutely a barrister. I have something of a reputation for taking on lost causes.
I
I
look at
really
Queenie.
don't like the sound of that.
No, it seems like they have gone and manufactured a number of witnesses to, or claim that you were involved, and this is very ugly. You have some sort of enemy somewhere, and let's see, you have. Oh, there it is. I must be honest. There is very little hope of being found wholly innocent if you plead not guilty. Even though as you pointed out, that you weren't covered in blood and your weapons were unclear, because they have several members of the Watch who have officially declared otherwise. Rather, I will suggest a no contest plea, admitting neither guilt nor claiming total innocence, though we will hotly deny killing anyone since there are no actual eyewitnesses there. Generally, heavy fees, hard labor in the Grey Mountains would be a minimum, but I have some sway with the court, and I know they have been requested to support the Watch in these trying times, especially with the Schaffenfest coming up. And some of you, and she's going to nod to Jorg, and it's like, some of you have at least a decent enough reputation. I may be able to convince them to effectively assign you to serve as, well, temporary members of the Watch for a period of time.
And the Watch would be okay with that?
Have you met the Watch? It's mostly comprised of the very worst soldiers from Bögenhafen State Army, aided by fools, idiots. I'm certain you'll be able to fit right in, given your martial leanings, of course.
Wait a sec. All right, so we have to plead guilty, and we're going to serve in the Watch?
No contest. Yes. So I will need to speak with the judge before. And quick pause. This is something I've forgotten that many of the players are possibly going to be unprepared for. With regards to how courts work, they do not work anything like American courts. Basically, you have, I think it's called an antagonistic court or antagonistic trial, something like that. And it's like there is no presumption of innocence beforehand. It's basically the judge will act as like the prosecuting attorney. So he will get there and he will start asking questions and such like that. It's pretty common actually in other places in Europe. It's just so darn foreign to most of us that it's like, that's super weird. But
Well,
anybody who has like body language or anything like that, and is like super sus of Barrister Winandis, you are perfectly fine to make any checks.
No, Queen will just ask. Queen doesn't have anything that would help with this, but she will just ask. You said you're expensive, so who's paying for you?
She's gonna smile, and she's gonna say interested parties. Like your benefactors prefer to remain anonymous at this time, but if I can get you out of this mess, which I'm fairly positive or fairly sure I can, donations to the cult of Verena would not go amiss.
Anybody have detect lies?
Soren does at an 11, and it looks like no.
I got body language. Soren will say, "I don't get it. We have mystery benefactors and mystery enemies. What the fuck is going on here?"
That's a really good question. I would love to find out. Maybe we can use you to find out.
Soren will try sex appeal for a good reaction.
This is probably not the time for that, but you can try, I suppose.
He's not trying to, hit on her. He's just trying to be charming.
That's not how that works.
Well, clearly he failed the roll.
I think attractive gives +2 to the opposite sex.
1.
I thought it's +1 to the same sex, +2 to the opposite.
No, that doesn't start kicking in until the next level up.
Apply any bonus for above average appearance or double the penalty for below. Okay, so that is going to fail.
Wait a sec, did I have luck? No, I don't have luck.
I think Copper Tongue is the only one that has luck right now.
So that will be an automatic bad reaction then.
So her smile is definitely going to go away.
Soren will shrug.
Ignore him.
She will point out that the big problem is these murders, or whatever. Clearly, someone is wanting to blame one or all of you. I am not sure which yet. Definitely going to be trying to look into that. And if you are held responsible for the murders, you will be executed. It's that simple. But if you manage to somehow talk your way out of that, not that the court will even bother to listen or give you a chance to explain, but are still found guilty, the other charges at the very least, they will probably send you to the penal quarry in the foothills of the Grey Mountains, which is very, very, very bad. Not a nice place. Prisoners there are frequently killed by raiding greenskins before their sentences are even finished. But as I said, I'm fairly certain I can sway Magistrate Richter into this direction. I don't know if you noticed, but he was a little suspicious of the charges to begin with.
Is this perhaps an elaborate plan of your benefactors to frame us initially so that they can come along and free us, and then we're in the pocket of those people that are paying your bills?
That seems awfully convoluted.
Yeah,
And they
but I
probably wouldn't tell her that.
I don't have any other explanation for why nobodies like us are in the shit that we are.
It's because you're nobodies like you.
Wait a second. We're heroes. Big damn heroes. Just ask Soren.
Well, yeah, we are that, but still,
We're not that big.
Someone's paying for this really expensive, and I might say very attractive person here to help us out.
Already shot your shot, dude.
Just seems really odd.
It is very odd. The whole all of the evidence is odd.
All right. Well, we're clearly pawns in this chess match. Let's see where we're pushed around.
Yeah, I don't see there's a whole lot we can do. We don't exactly have a lot of connections here.
All right. Well, if I have all of your agreement, I will step out of here and go speak with the judge privately. The guards will, keep you here until we're done with that.
Could we get some ale in here by any chance?
You're still prisoners. You'll be lucky if they give you water.
Yerk is going to start getting a little twitchy here in a while.
Well, you had at least a little bit of the brandy before the dude realized that you might drink it all and stopped offering you any. So she will knock on the door and inform the guards that she needs to speak to the judge, and that the PCs need to remain here until she is done. And they get all glowery and all that jazz, but they don't contest her, and she's like, "I will be back shortly." And then you are left sitting in the room, going, "How the hell did this get here?"
So I'll be looking at the lock and sort of wondering, if I pick the lock here, what's the next step to escape this place?
Fight the
Get
guards.
past the two large guards standing out there. Then
Are the
hopefully
guards-
you can do that before the other guards are summoned.
Are these guards like sleeping, not noticing shit?
It's
Are
early in the
our
morning.
are our weapons nearby?
Probably not. Your weapons and stuff is probably at the northern barracks where you were, not northern barracks, but the main barracks where you were incarcerated.
Or are there other weapons besides the guards' weapons?
It's a courthouse.
Did they? What was the list of charges? Did they have a cult thing on there? Did they mention chaos?
They did not.
Yeah.
The official charges were destruction of private property, disruption of commerce, inciting a riot, contributing to general lawlessness, and murder most foul.
So they don't know anything about the purple people.
Purple people.
I wonder if that was a purple people eater that attacked everyone outside.
Okay, so is there any plans to do something that is probably dangerous and potentially super risky, or are you waiting for the pretty lawyer to come back?
Queen's just gonna wait.
Yeah, I feel we're being set up to do something for someone.
That seems pretty obvious.
But and
Oh,
I'll lean in very close to everyone else. Say, I do have a way for us to get out of here.
So Enfys was gonna pound on the door. Get me out of here! I gotta get out of here! Get me out of here! For God's sakes, get me out of here! I don't belong here! I'm not with these people! Get me out of here! And then I'll look back at everybody and just kind of shrug.
Did
Sorry,
it work?
Give it a good effort.
You will see
I didn't think that was gonna work.
the little the slidey thing up there. I don't know what that's called. The like almost a peephole, where it's like it's gonna slide open briefly. Guy's gonna glance and then he's gonna slide it back, and they're gonna go back to ignoring you.
Oh, sitting around. Soren, can you pick a lock? Can we get out of here? Do you want me to burn the place down? Let me burn the place down.
Well, I was just about to say, I managed to get my lockpicks in, so we can maybe get out of here.
I don't think you've thought that through all the way.
Christoph mentioned that he can make it so that they cannot hear, or that he may or may not be able to do that.
Are you able to do that? I thought you got rid of some of those.
I kept just the 4 spells that were part of the character sheet.
I
Silence
am
being one of them.
double checking something. Yeah.
Oops, I didn't mean to. I would have failed.
So he starts
Well-
fiddling around with it.
As people are messing around with potential solutions, York will remind everyone that fighting or attempting to escape or arguing loudly and impolitely, all of those things will just be taken as a sign of guilt.
Well, they're going to assume we're guilty anyway.
Maybe they won't, but if you don't give them that, don't make it a certainty.
Well, while you guys are huddled together, discussing, figuring, trying to, so I guess almost arguing, a bit of time will pass, and the barrister will return. She will approach. The door will. You will hear the locks on the door, and will open up, and she's like, all right, come with me, please. And the four guards that are outside now instead of the two, are glaring pretty heavily at you. One of them tosses the thing to I don't want to say gimp mask because that's not right. The thing to Enfys to
Gag.
gag. Yeah, I was like, there's a word. It's a really simple word. Like tosses the gag to Enfys and
I like
has
Gimp
that-
Master.
is that the sex ball thing, sex gag. Put it on.
Just keep talking. Just keep talking. Dig yourself deeper.
Yep, put it on.
I look at him and say, "You make me."
They come in and they make you, and it hurts, and you're really bruised.
I instantly regret saying it.
You are escorted back to the courthouse. Not the courthouse, but the courtroom. You're going to have to wait because the magistrate is listening to another quick or another one, and it's some guy that has apparently killed another dude, and the evidence is average. I suppose. But he's like, "Yep, all right, sorry. This is the third time you've come before me. So you now have a date with the gallows." And that guy is let off, struggling, going, "No, no, I didn't do it. And if I did do it, he deserved it." And then you are eventually brought forward, and the barrister will Osana was she's like, we are changing that to no contest. We are no longer directly contesting the charges, but we will note that none of these people started a fight, and they absolutely, unquestionably did not kill Foster and the fiery clown, nor were they responsible for the deaths. And there is a bit of back and forth, and the judge is going to consult each of the PCs with a quick question. To Christoph, he is going to state that you already bear a thieves mark on your hand. So by imperial law, this means you are already a criminal. And do you know what the penalties are for a second crime? And how does Christoph respond to this? Quietly?
Is he muted?
He is
Sorry, I
muted.
just had a lot of background noise going on. I didn't want to unmute.
Gotcha.
But he's just like basically, you know, he's just mouths off some smart ass remark, probably gonna kill me or something like that. But then he said, but I'm not guilty of a second crime. I'm being framed. We're being framed.
To Enfys, he will ask, are you aware of the penalties for the misuse of magic, wizard? It is difficult to cast spells without a tongue, I'm told, and the witch hunters would love to have one of your kind to burn.
Yeah, I'm aware, but who saw me cast a spell? That's what I want to know.
Wow, everybody's super aggressive and, he's snarky. To Jorg, he will say, I am surprised to see you again, Master Lang. There are many who still blame you for the death of Master von Opfern and thought your previous sentence too lenient. How exactly does this action serve your oath to die gloriously in Sigmar's name?
You're referring to the incident here. It would further no goals at all.
To Coppertongue, he's going to say, it's like, I'm not familiar with you, Mistress Coppertongue. How is it you became involved in such madness? And I am going to ask Mel to make an honesty check, because I think it would be funny if she just like, well, that's a long story. All right, success by 4, so you don't have to tell anything you don't want to tell.
So Queen will basically give the high level, like of how we all met, that we were, I don't remember the thing, but we were part of the group that we were in a war or something. It's been more than a week, so I don't remember. But she'll give like just the brief backstory of how
Bounty
we met
hunter.
and
Farlesbag.
yeah, and we, did that and this and this, and we've killed lots of greenskins and turned in ears, and we've been doing
Totally
good things.
awesome. All right.
So she'll give the high level, but not really go into details.
Okay. To Soren, he will say, "You are from Bögenhafen, are you not, Master Roth? I think I've heard your name in passing. Yes, something in regards to Majos Blitzen, I believe. And regardless, tell me, why were you there, and what role did you have in murdering those men?"
Look to the our counselor. Well, no contest.
I'm sorry, that strikes me as funny. So he will ask a couple more questions. The barrister is going to end up answering most of them, or more frequently, jumping in and go, no, that that's not we're contesting that, or we're not contesting that, and such like that. And then he's gonna wave her forward, and she goes up there, and they have a quick discussion. It does seem kind of intense, like he's asking her some things that she's not answering to his satisfaction, but finally he's like, he addresses the court itself. He's like, the law in this case is quite clear. The guilty must be punished, and that punishment is death. And then he holds up the some documents. He's like, however, the evidence against these gathered here is scant, and it seems unlikely that they were responsible for the riot, considering they had already been taken under arms by the time it started. And as he says this, he's like giving a sort of a glare in the direction of some of the watch guys. It's like, at best, they could be charged with disruption of commerce and contributing to general lawlessness. This is a question from the GM too. Did any of you mention to her or the stuff about the scheme with lock, stock, barrel?
Nope.
No, we figure there's
No.
enough crimes being pinned on us.
Okay.
Although, to be fair, that would just be the crime of being stupid.
So it is a little disconcerting when he continues. He's like, an intent to defraud lawyers who do not exist is troubling, but no crime. And then you realize that one of the documents that he's holding up is the letter, and you're like, oh yeah, they did take all your stuff. However, we also commend them on not bothering to waste the court's time on frivolous protestations of innocence. Thus, we are inclined to be merciful. After careful review of the evidence and circumstances surrounding this case, it is my view that those who had a hand in disrupting the peace of our fair town should also have a hand in restoring it. I sentence you all to supervise duty on the watch in order that you may work off your debt to Bögenhafen. This duty will commence tomorrow for a period not to exceed a year and a day. Failure to carry out your new duties shall be looked at as treason to the Empire and is punishable by death. In Verina's name, I so rule. Your case is concluded. And then he bangs his gavel and clearly wants everybody to leave. Osana is like, she sort of turns. She's like, well, and grins like, that could have been better. Could have been worse. Year and a day is not that bad. Mentally preferable to a noose.
Do we get our stuff back?
Well, you'll have to talk that over with the captain that they assign. Besides, give me some time. I may be able to work an alternative to this later date. Maybe get you out for in less time.
Well, at least we didn't sign any pledges of things we had to do.
Well, I guess some thanks to our secret benefactors is in order.
Who was it we were supposed to make a donation to?
Oh, for her, Verena.
V word.
Do we know who that is?
That's a goddess, human goddess.
There's a temple district here. They have all the temples there. It's easy to find them.
Actually, several of the PCs were hanging out there. They were doing research. Goddess of wisdom. She is the goddess of learning and justice. Okay, so the PCs will be escorted back to the barracks by some of the guards who are at least no longer got you manacled or anything like that. And they seem confused, like that's not what they were expecting to happen. Um, at the barracks, you'll be like sort of loitering around, standing around waiting, and one of the guys is going to gesture for you to follow him to a there's like an office, and I think Jorg might be the only one that can't read, maybe. Um, but for those of you who can read, we'll be able to see it's just got like a captain on the on the door, and a guy knocks on it, and you hear he's like, come in, and there is a man not stand it's an office. He's not sitting behind the desk or anything, but he's like leaning back against it as he like stands in front of it, and when you enter, and he's got that expression of like I want to be anywhere but here kind of expression. His uniform is clearly made of very superior materials, and if I could get my AI thing to generate a proper mustache, he would have one of those mustaches that like go out. Oh crap! It goes out past his face, the really long, thin ones that are like twirled.
Oh, that one. Okay, not where I thought you were going with that.
Did you enter? So he just everything about this guy screams highborn. He's as you enter, he's like I am Captain Rayner of House Gotrin. Sorry, I'm having word issues. Of House Gortrin, and it is my duty to accept you into the Reichland 99th Regiment of Foot, though most of us simply think of us as the Bögenhafen Town Watch. He pauses, and he's like, looking over each of you, and he's like, we live in strange times. I ask for watchmen, and I get you. You may notice my troops' morale is low, but that is no surprise. They are the lowest scum of Bögenhafen given uniforms. They think they're too good for this posting, and resent every single moment of it. And he's like, Clump and Clug, get in here. And another dude enters. This guy looks, well, he's definitely a bit wide. His uniform is a little not great. Oh yeah, and it's totally they're totally wearing those the guard uniforms, including the cool hats, except not inside. But Clump and Clug, he definitely has that look of not quite as clean as he probably could/should be. The captain goes, this crap, where is it? Hold on, I lost my place. He's like, this is Sergeant Klumpenklug. He will be in charge of you during your time with the watch. His account of your behavior is what keeps you from being executed for dereliction of duty. I suggest you stay in his good graces. I am not a fool. Do not treat me as one, and we shall get along well. Do as the sergeant tells you. Do not embarrass the watch, and be wary. Bögenhafen is full of mischief of late. May Sigmar watch out for you, if you are worthy. Dismissed. And Klumpenklug, just sort of gives him a nowhere near as effective looking salute that Jorg presented. His is kind of sloppy, but he's like, exits and gestures for you to follow him.
Okay, well, we follow.
Sergeant?
Yeah, call me Rudy. Call me Sergeant when others, and like sort of gestures his head towards the captain's office, like only Sergeant when others are around, eh? You'll be wanting your gear back, I'm guessing. Yeah, we'll sort you out with some watch livery, armbands at the least.
Awesome.
And
Some of that gear is valuable and has sentimental value. We took it from Fat Falsburg when we killed that son of a bitch.
Oh, that sounds like a tale I'd like to hear. But not here. Best not to talk too much here. There's ears about I don't fancy, eh? meet me tonight, just before sundown at the Raspy Raven out back. Then we'll have a bit of a chat and sort out your new duties.
Hey,
Understood.
Sarge, what can I possibly assist with as a wizard?
Wizard. We haven't had a wizard on staff before. This will be interesting.
Can you turn people into newts?
Can you turn people into newts?
Well, do I have lawful authority to cast spells as a watch person?
Are you? Don't you? Oh, you're not a proper wizard. You're a pretend wizard.
I'm an apprentice, thank you very much.
Oh, well, I'm gonna have to find out. Damn it.
Did they confiscate Infos's what is it, his certification or whatever it is?
Probably.
Yeah, but Klumpenklug probably didn't read all that. But all of the stuff is going to be you'll be able to retrieve your gear. They like I said, they will at least provide the hat and the tabard to be worn over the current stuff. So you'll be bright groovy guardsman. So you will have a couple of hours to figure out what your next step is before you are expected to be at the tavern or the Raspy Raven. So it's entirely up to you whether you like. Yeah, so it's entirely up to you whether you're like, yeah, we can do that, or you go, screw this, let's flee the town and not tell anybody.
As far as Yerk's concerned, he didn't have anything better to do, so yeah, why not? He might have signed up for that voluntarily if somebody had asked him.
Noted.
Queen, stick with your.
Cern
maybe
is
there'll be some greens.
Cern's going to automatically fail his curious. He's going to say, "We were set up for a reason. I'm keen to find out what that reason is."
Well, if we hang around, maybe we will. On the other hand, if we hang around, we might be horribly murdered. So there's that.
But you'll die with a really cool hat.
We'll die with a cool hat.
Okay, so in the 2 hours that we have, the Queen's actually going to tell the group, like, I'm going to go check out this Verena thing, and she's going to start heading towards the temple just to go see if she can figure out what this Verena is about. She doesn't know anything about human deities.
Or
Okay.
are those widely known, actually?
Yeah, they are. It's the Empire. It's Sigmar is the most commonly known, but Verena has been around since before Sigmar.
Well, I mean, are they imperial gods or are they just the gods?
Old world pantheon, yeah. Well, the elves have their own gods, and the dwarfs have ancestor spirits, which are basically gods.
Okay. Jorg needs to go attempt to contact Ludo and tell him that he was unfortunately incarcerated. And but good news, he'll be around for a while. And then he's got to, I guess, visiting the family's gonna have to wait until after the shift.
Okay. Well, Ludolf will make the. Well, actually, it'll depend on whether he's available.
He can leave a message with his servant or whatever.
Yeah, he's probably in a meeting or something like that. But okay. And that's fine. How about Infus? Is there anything he's planning on doing in the couple of hours?
No, he's just going to consider the boring life he's going to be leading for the next little while.
Wow, that was dumb. I pasted some. That is a link to that I put in there. That's a link to the wiki, our wiki, that has information on Verena. Goddess of knowledge, science, learning, wisdom, law, and justice. It's said to be married to the god of death, Mor, and the parents of Myrmidia and Shalia, the deities of warfare and mercy, respectively. Okay, what about Christoph? Is there anything that he has crazy planned or anything like that in before the 2 hours?
I don't. So there's not much that he can do.
Okay. All right, so fast forward a couple hours. The Raspy Raven turns out to be a small tavern. It is not an inn; it's just a tavern. It's just for drinking. It's far enough away from the Bogan to be a bit more respectable than the drinking establishments lining the docks. There are several large alcoves which provide privacy. The air itself is, pretty smoky. There are handful of people that are quite present or present that are like, get in there, already getting drunk. Clump and Klug, when he arrives, he's like, all right, so I need to cover a couple of things really quickly. One, well, most importantly, there's two Bogenhafens, you see. There's the one, the day one, and another one entirely in the night. The merchant houses do their best to keep the shadows quiet, but as long as their coffers stay full, they don't really care what else happens. Graf himself, he barely visits, unless taxes are late, and then he comes in force. And all sorts of things have stirred up lately. Folks up and vanishing, moving on elsewhere, or down the bogan, as we like to say, meaning not breathing as they go, eh? Now it's our job to look after the shoddy side of Bögenhafen, not the pit, thanks Sigmar. And we won't be patrolling the Adel Ring. Oh no, that's not for the likes of us. Houses have their own security there. Plus, only a damned fool would get stuck between feuding merchant houses. Nah, it's the docks and the dregs for us. Wherever you're at, keep a sharp eye out. Be wary of large groups of Altdorfers down from the capital. They're always trouble. I'll patrol with you for a bit, show you the duties and such. But ultimately, we're just there to try to keep everybody from stabbing us in the back. Duties will be different. We're probably going to be the way they have been rotating this now is. Oh, where the hell did I make that note? Damn it. Hold on. I gotta find. I have a note about the duty rotations. It's like you're going to be on watch for like 3 days, and then like you have like a day off, and then you'll be on watch for 3 nights and such like that. I just don't recall where the hell I put that note. I'm gonna have to find it again. So I may have to. There may be a minor retcon later once I do that. Once I find it again. But I'm not gonna waste that much time looking for it. So he's like, oh, duh! There was a day you'd be either day or night patrol. Not anymore. 3 by day and then 3 by night, and then we keep rotating. So his question, the question that the first thing he wants to know is like, do you have any questions? Also, he's going to find out the answer to Enfys's question about the wizarding, probably, maybe, or he'll forget and you'll get executed for breaking the law.
So what's the likelihood any of the other PCs have actually served on the watch?
As far as I know, none of the PCs have served on the watch ever.
I mean, I'd honestly be surprised if York didn't serve in the militia somehow,
Well,
at least in
like
his early years, but
like
I
I
don't know about
said,
anybody else.
or identified, technically the watch is the 99th Regiment of Foot of Bogenhafen, or the Reichland 99th Regiment of Foot, but they just use them as town watch,
I don't mean here. I mean in general.
right?
So,
Obviously, Soren would have had to have been here.
what sort of authority do we have? And are there any individuals or organizations that are, and CERN will sort of do the air quotes, that are untouchable?
Don't mess with the merchant houses. But as to authority, well, it depends on whatever. We're the watch. Damn it.
So people should respect our authority?
Something like that.
Yeah, I know the real town watches, well, they're organized a little differently, but generally speaking, they basically were just watching for fires, and occasionally there's usually a curfew, so they enforce the curfew, And
Yep.
basically anybody they catch out, they take them off to wherever they're holding them.
Yeah, ultimately it's going to be patrols, mostly near the docks. So you're going to be expected to look for fires and stop stop some fights. Maybe catch some thieves. Stand
What
there in
about-
town, watch stuff.
What about, and Søren's going to be looking at his body language when he says this. What about taking bribes and stuff?
Okay.
What's the rules with that?
I'm waiting to see the body language roll in the skull. Oh, we would no, there's no guards town watch that would ever do anything like that. We're all upright and honest men and women, I suppose.
And do I sense like sarcasm in his body language?
You don't even yeah, there's no way you don't.
Oh, of course. We're all upstanding, law-abiding citizens. Why would we accept
So if somebody
bribes?
tries to bribe you, you confiscate that money.
Like, I think you'll do fine, and how raise the ale and start to drink it. And I think that is exactly where we were going to end with everybody drinking their mediocre ale. This is definitely not the best ale you've had.
I've had a lot of ale.
So we got all our stuff back?
You did get all your stuff. You do not have the letter or the other thing. It looks like that may have got taken into the court, but otherwise, yeah, you have all that other stuff.
What about the signet ring?
That was not. I mean, that was in your gear.
And our money?
There may be a little less money involved, and I may be adjusting your current stuff after the game.
Mhm.
But for the most part, it's mostly there, mostly, partially.
And we also
with
have
that-
lodgings at the barracks, right?
Yep,
Queen quietly sees about her purse being a little lighter.
yep. They had to find out who did it and beat them to death with a stick.
Søren will
Sure
turn.
won't know.
Søren turns to the
'cause
rest
he
of the
can't
group.
count all that.
Søren will turn to the rest of the group and he'll say, well, this turned out pretty good for us, didn't it?
And
Oh.
with that, we fade to black. Cue the music, roll the credits. If you're watching or listening to this and you have comments, questions, complaints, or general heckling, feel free to leave a comment here or find us at Discord. Please consider liking and subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels, or don't. I am not your dad. Anyway, thank you for watching. Olympus out.
Bye.
Right.
See ya.